The immortal John Hancock here, and today I have an Evercade marathon. That's right. Evercade has released over 55 different carts, hardware in the last 4 years. And in today's video, I take all the videos I've done in the last 4 years talking about Evercade, all the information that you need on what has came out, and I put that together in a marathon video. This is a collection of videos. I really hope you enjoy this. So sit back, relax. You may want to grab some popcorn. Here we go. The immortal John Hancock here with a bonus video today. Blaze Entertainment sent me the Evercade Premium Pack and all the games that they are offering for their new release coming in June. And I am going to be taking a look at this console and the games to see, is it worth it? Let's take a look. Evercade is made by Blaze Entertainment, and today's review is of my own opinion of this retro handheld. The Premium Pack comes with 3 multi-carts for $100. They also sell a single multi-cart bundle for $80, and the games sold separately are $20. Here is the handheld. It is a nice, decent size. I have to mention that the unit that they sent me is not finalized, as they're working on getting a better fit for cartridges. On the bottom of the unit, you have volume control, headphone jack, and place where you charge, which lasts about 4 hours. Is about what I experienced. On top, there's shoulder buttons, which are nice, on and off switch, and a mini HDMI port. The mini HDMI is not included with the package, unfortunately, and they recommend that you turn your console on, then plug it into the TV so that the console can detect the output. Alright, the specs are a 1.2 gigahertz quad-core processor with a 480 by 272 resolution screen. There's also 4:3 and 69 aspect ratio options. The screen size itself is 4.3 inches, about the size of a PSP. I wanted to compare it with some other handhelds. Here's the size of the cases the games come in. It's a little bit taller than a Vita case. Inside it has a color manual and a nice place to fit the cartridges. The cartridges themselves are about the size of a Neo Geo Pocket game and a little bit stylized like a Game Gear game. Here's the menu screen. When you pop in a game, you have the screen ratio option, audio on or off, language options. Pretty nice, straightforward. Here is the first cart that is included with all the Evercades, the Atari Collection 1. Here's the menu for all the games. As you can see, there are many of the classics offered here. Then they're also offering Atari 7800 games, which you never see anywhere else, and what I'm most excited about. In this video, I'm going to be showing the menus of each multi-cart, as well as some of my favorite games from each of the packs. First up is Food Fight. This is an Atari 7800 classic and an arcade port. All the games offered on the Evercade are the console versions, as they have the 4:3 aspect ratio. Blaze Entertainment is looking at doing a future arcade collection. Next up is a weird game, Ninja Golf. Kind of plays like Kung Fu with weird enemies. I'm really excited that each owner of the Evercade is going to get to experience this. This is definitely an overlooked title for the 7800. This multi-cart also includes classics such as Missile Command, which several gamers out there grew up with. One of the better games on the 2600. Next up is Namco Museum Collection 1, which offers 8 and 16-bit offerings. Battle Cars, pretty decent game. Dig Dug, Galaxian, and Libble Rabble, which is like, what's that? Mappy Kids, which never has came to the States. Metal Marines, Pac-Man, the console version, and Quad Challenge, an overlooked title. Star Luster, and Xevious. Libble Rabble is one of the weird offerings on this multi-cart. It's an arcade game, and this is the Super Famicom port. Never played it before. Then there's Mappy Kids, which is a follow-up to the Mappy arcade game, offered an 89 to the Famicom. This is the first English translation of it. Really excited that we get to experience it. Next up is the Data East Collection. This offers the console versions of Bad Dudes, Burnin' Rubber, which is Bump and Jump, Burger Time, Two Crude Dudes, Fighter's History, Joe and Mac 2, Karate Champ, Magical Drop 2, Midnight Resistance, Side Pocket. Burger Time, the console version, is awesome, but I know there's going to be people out there that wished that there was the arcade offerings of some of these games. There's Fighter's History, which is a blatant Street Fighter 2 knockoff. And again, only a one-player experience does take away the enjoyment of some of these games, as many of these titles are better with two players. Interplay is offering two multi-cart collections. I wish they were combined into one. This one offers Battle Chess, Boogerman, Clay Fighter, Earthworm Jim, Incantation, and Titan. With Earthworm Jim being the big one offered here. Fantastic side-scroller. If you haven't experienced this amazing 16-bit title, you are in for a treat, as it is the best game offered on this multi-cart. Next up is Boogerman, a pick-and-flick adventure, kind of a crude platformer where you belch, fart, and pick your nose to take out enemies. It's not as good as Earthworm Jim, but I'm glad it is offered on this multi-cart. There's a second Atari collection, and this one offers more Atari 7800 and 2600 games, Air Sea Battle, Asteroids, Basketball, Bowling, Centipede, Dark Chambers, Demons to Diamonds, Desert Falcon, Human Cannonball, Haunted House, Millipede, Planet Smashers, Radar Lock, Real Sports Tennis, Submarine Commander, Sprint Masters, Solaris, Street Racer, and Wizard, Yard's Revenge Classic. So, Desert Falcon on the 7800 plays a little bit like Zaxxon. You collect hieroglyphs in the ground as you walk over them, and you collect them and you gain power-ups. Pretty cool, weird shooter. Highly recommend checking this one out. Glad it's included in this package. I really like the 7800 offerings. Kind of wish they're on one cart. Centipede, the 7800 version, pretty decent. Looks a lot better than the 2600 counterpart. Kind of wish the arcade offerings were included. Hopefully Evercade can offer those in the future. Namco Museum Collection 2 offers some awesome console exclusives. Many are going to be happy with Burning Force, Dig Dug 2, Dragon Spirit Galaga, Pack Attack, Philios, Splatterhouse Part 2 and Part 3, Tower of Daruga, Warpman, Weapon Lord. So these are some decent games. Pack Attack is one of my favorite Pac-Man puzzle style games. I played this quite a bit back in the day, and I think it makes a great inclusion to the Evercade being a handheld. Definitely worth checking this one out if you haven't. Not the best game on the multi-cart, but there's Warpman, which is a sequel to the follow-up Warp and Warp arcade game. Kind of bizarre, and one I haven't really played that much of, so I'm glad it's included here. Interplay Collection 2 is kind of a mixed bag. What you get is Clay Fighter 2, Claymates, Earthworm Jim 2, Prehistoric Man, Adventures of Rad Gravity, and the Brainies. So Earthworm Jim 2 being the best game on this package in my opinion. I just don't really care for many of the other titles, as I think they're just alright. Kind of the weird offering on this collection is the Brainies. The title was called Tiny Squeaks in Europe, and it is a decent puzzle game, a bit weird. This will cater to people that like these types of games. Next up is the Mega Cat Studios collection, and this is a great multi-cart offering Almost Hero, Creepy Crawlers, Coffee Crisis, great brawler, Justice Duel, Log Jammers, Little Medusa, which I covered on my channel, Multitude, Old Towers, Super Painter, and Tanzer, which is great and a game I really am going to be playing more of. This is Old Towers, and I really love this puzzle aspect game, and it is a great fit on the Evercade, and I'm really glad it's included here. I actually found myself enjoying this one quite a bit. And so highly recommend this one, and this multi-cart has a decent offering. Tanzer is another game on this collection that I find is kind of an homage to Shadow of the Beast, and this is a great side-scrolling action slash game which I see myself playing a lot more. Pico Interactive offers a wide variety of games, some offered in other regions: Eight Eyes, Brave Battle Saga, Cannon, Draken, Dragon View, Dork and Yimp, Iron Commando, The Immortal, Gym Power, Magic Girl, Nightshade, Power Pigs, Power Punch 2, Radical Rex, Switchblade, The Humans, Tin Head, Top Racer, Way of the Exploding Fist, and Water Margin. Tin Head is a timeless classic, one that I played quite a bit back in the day. It was nice to go back and revisit this great action platformer. Then there's difficult platformers such as Eight Eyes. While far from perfect, I'm glad it's included here. Unfortunately, it's only offering the single player experience. The Technos Collection 1 is another fine lineup, offering Crash and the Boys Street Challenge, Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon, Renegade, River City Ransom, Super Double Dragon, Super Strike V-Ball, Super Dodgeball. So the Double Dragon is a single player experience, and it was nice to go back and play this. I played this quite a bit back in the day on the Nintendo. Kind of wish I could play the arcade version though. River City Ransom gets a -1, unfortunately, because it's only a single player experience. While I'm glad it's included here, this was a lot of fun co-op. So there you have it. This is a solid offering of retro gaming. There are some downsides. It's not perfect. It is only a single player experience and completely offline. So that's going to turn off a couple people that want to play with a buddy. Some of the games that are offered on this console have the 2-player option. Blaze Entertainment is going to look at that and possibly offer something else in the future. They didn't announce exactly what. There are more cartridges coming. There's an Atari Lynx collection coming, which I'm excited about, as well as a Xeno Crisis Tanglewood collection combined. Those are awesome games, especially Xeno Crisis. I covered that on my channel. So this is a good bundle. The links are below for where you can find us. You can pre-order it on Amazon. $79 for one multi-pack, the Atari one, with the console. And there's also a 3-game multi-pack, which I cover in this video, which is $100. And so it's a decent offering, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else they are gonna provide for this awesome new handheld. So thumbs up, solid experience. Thank you for continuing to tune in to my channel. It is most appreciated. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. This is the Immortal John Hancock. Thank you for viewing. Be safe, take care. The Immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm talking about the new cartridges offered for the Evercade. That's right, the Evercade is a video that I did previously this year talking about its games and its actual hardware. You can check out the video, the link is below, but there are new games. There's an update for the Evercade. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but I'm mostly going to be talking about the 4 new multi-carts that are being offered for this great retro handheld. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you what are some of my picks, what I like about them, and some things that I'm looking forward to them offering in the future. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this video. It's nice to see that the Evercade is continuing to offer multi-carts. I know that there's a lot of fans of this handheld device, and it is continuing to add additional games to its library. Recently, there was an update offered on Evercade's website, link will be below, for the 1.3, which fixes some bugs as well as improves stability. Now, up first is the Atari Lynx Volume 1. And so I know there's many Lynx fans out there excited about this collection of original releases and homebrew. And so here you can see there's 17 different games on this multi-cart, a mix of original and homebrew. So we have Awesome Golf, Basket Brawl, Crystal Mines 2 Buried Treasure, Cyber Virus, Dracula the Undead, Gordo 106, Ishido The Way of the Stones, Jimmy Connor's Tennis, Loops, Malibu Bikini Volleyball, Mega Pack Volume 1, Power Factor, Remnant, Super Asteroids and Missile Command, Scrap Your Dog, Super Squeak, and Zump. What's really cool is there's stuff such as Crystal Mines 2, Buried Treasure included, which is a combination of the original release plus 100 plus additional levels with a total of 300 levels. This is a great puzzler, a combination of kind of Dig Dug and Boulder Dash style gameplay. It's a great puzzler. Next, what I really like is Missile Command. And what I like about this version is it adds additional options. After 4 levels, you can do various upgrades. I think this is one of the better Missile Command games on any system, and it's a great addition to this multi-cart. Also, there's some great homebrews on this multi-cart. This is Parafly, which is obviously an homage to Game & Watch series, and I really like these types of games. Also, Zump is a great little puzzler. I found myself really liking this, and I think it's a good fit. This is one of many games that Songbird Productions offered on this multi-cart. The Lynx games were broken up into 2 multi-carts, with the second collection being all officially released games. Here is the cartridge and case. It's cool that the manual is full color and talks about the history of the Atari Lynx, as well as shows the games on the back. Here are the games: Blue Lightning, California Games, one of my favorites, Checkered Flag, Chips Challenge, Electrocop, Gates of Zendocon, Todd's Adventure in Slime World, and Zarlor Mercenary. If you remember this original Lynx release, or you're a fan of Afterburner, this is a game for you. And so this was definitely a powerhouse release for the Lynx back in the day to show the capabilities of the color handheld. I like this game, and I'm glad it is included. Next up was my first experience with the original release of the Atari Lynx, California Games. It was a pack-in, and a game I played quite a bit. I love surfing, one of my favorite of the 4 mini games that you can play. I have so many great memories playing this game, and it looks fantastic on the Evercade. Next, you have a decent shooter, Zarlor Mercenary. There were some decent games included in this 8-game multi-pack, and so I'm happy about that. Then you have games like Checkered Flag, which are decent pole position style games, but the Comlinks offerings of the original Lynx are not included. Same with Todd's Adventure in Slime World. Unfortunately, this is just a single player experience. Kind of my gripe and complaint with some of the Evercade's offerings. Next up is an Oliver Twins collection, most notable for the Dizzy series, but there's also some other games included on this multi-cart. We have Treasure Island Dizzy, Wonderland Dizzy, BMX Simulator, Dizzy the Adventurer, Dream World Pogie, The Fantastic Adventures of Dizzy, Firehawk, Go Dizzy Go, I like that one, Mystery World Dizzy, Panic Dizzy, Super Robin Hood, their first release. Dizzy games are challenging, but I think that makes them appeal to certain gamers, and the ones included on this cart are decent. And Go Dizzy Go is a puzzler, and this is kind of an obscure release offered originally on the Quattro Arcade multi-cart for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And so nice to see it here. I actually really enjoy this one, even though it's not an original Dizzy release. And so I definitely think it's a good fit for the Evercade. Then you have games such as Wonderland Dizzy, which were just recently released. And so it's really cool for people that weren't able to get the small cartridge run that the Oliver Twins did back in 2015. Now you are able to play this decent Dizzy game along with other releases, and I think that's fantastic. That's really the strength of the Evercade, is it gets a great sampling of different games. And so Dream World Pogie, another game that was recently offered to the public, and now it's on physical cartridge form for the Evercade, a great fit for this amazing handheld. And then you have games like Firehawk, which kind of I can take or leave. You know, not a great shooter, but might be a good break from all the puzzle and platformers. If you're looking for 16-bit action, then this multi-cart is for you. It's Tanglewood and Xenocrisis, which is offered on many other platforms. I love Xenocrisis. I've covered this for the Dreamcast as well as the Sega Genesis. My big complaint here, though, is that the Evercade, again, is a single-player experience. And so this is such a great co-op game to take that feature out of it. Now, I know that it's included in the ROM, but the hardware of the Evercade at this current moment is not available to play co-op. And so that's kind of a bummer. Though this is a great game, taking that option out is going to be kind of a deal breaker for some out there. But otherwise, it is a fantastic game. If you're just going to play this by yourself, then look no further than Xenocrisis, a great aftermarket Twitch shooter that must be played for fans of Smash TV. All right, next is Tanglewood, which I heard uses the development tools of an original release for the Sega Genesis back in the day. And this is a great kind of exploratory game, kind of plops you in a forest and you're having to explore. This game doesn't hold your hand. You have to kind of figure out things on your own, and I kind of like that about it. It's very unique and a great experience, and you know, something that I don't have on physical cart anywhere else. So the EverDrive offering it very affordably with Xenocrisis. For some, though, I think there's going to be an issue with this cart only offering 2 games, with many other multi-carts offering multiple games. You know, it wouldn't be such an issue, but one of the games is kind of nerfed because it's only a single player experience. This game, however, is the strength of this cart, and it's definitely a great affordable way of checking out this amazing 16-bit title. The good news is that the Evercade is going to continue to offer releases this next year with a Jalico collection, pretty excited about that, as well as a Pico Interactive second multi-cart. Not to forget about indie titles, they also have an indie title collection of 8 and 16-bit games planned next year as well. Really excited to see that. So, some of these are available on Amazon, but what I found is some of them are not available. However, on Songbird Productions, a company that was involved with some of the Atari Lynx releases offered on one of these multi-carts, these cartridges are still available. You can go there. The link will be below for that, as well as many other great retro products on their site. There's a great company, and I did a previous video about some of their Atari Lynx releases, as well as that company's offering many other things. Thank you so much for the ongoing support. What was your favorite game you saw today? Are you excited about some of these new cartridge releases? Did you pick up an Evercade? I would love to hear from you, and as always, thank you for the ongoing support. Hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. Keep it positive. This is the immortal John Hancock, and you take care. Today's video is an Evercade update. Last year, Blaze Entertainment released this awesome handheld. I've covered this with several videos on my channel. Today's video, I'm taking a look at last 2 multi-carts release, number 15 and 16, as well as 2 upcoming carts coming at the end of the month, the Worms collection and the Indie collection. Really excited to share with these on my channel. If you're not familiar with the Evercade, you may want to check out my other videos I've done on this great handheld. Less than $100, you can get this amazing device, and it plays these $20 multi-carts that they're releasing all the time. So sit back, relax. I hope you enjoy this video. These multi-carts come in their own case with color manual, and the Jalico one comes with a fold-out poster with kind of a checklist of all the previous games that they released. I really love that. By the way, there'll be a link to the Evercade website that shares all the information and where to buy this for your specific region. The Jalico collection includes many 8 and 16-bit hits that came to home consoles that made them famous. I'm going to pick a couple of these games I thought were interesting and share them with you. You are going to have your favorites on here. The menu is easy to navigate, as well as additional info in the manual. I love hearing that. Brawl Brothers, the second game in the Rushing Beat series. And if you're a fan of games such as Final Fight or Streets of Rage, while this series is not as good, I think it offers quite a bit, and it's kind of often overlooked. This is a great kind of side-scroller brawler. I really am happy that they included this, as well as the first game, Rival Turf. Another one that I'm glad is on here is Earth Defense Force, and this is kind of an overlooked horizontal shooter, and it gets kind of passed up by other games such as R-Type or UN Squadron, but I like this game. It's got some cool options of choosing your power-ups at the beginning of the game, as well as you kind of have a formation of orbs around you that can protect you. I like this. I'm not too good at it, but what is great about this collection is it offers these games that are really expensive now if you try to get some of the originals, in a nice affordable collection to check out what a company offered. A late NES release, Totally Rad, is often overlooked, and it's a great action platformer, and it was really cool to see it included in this collection. I like this game. It's a combination of some great run and gun. You have some magic. You can fill up your life bar if it gets depleted. Fairly challenging. And, is this as good as some other platformers on the NES back in the day? No. But if you're tired of playing Contra or Mega Man, you may want to check this out. This is a second collection from Pico, and this one includes a lot of sports and racing games, including a few oddities, a Game Boy Advance game and a PlayStation game. I've been covering a lot of game companies back in the day, and there's a lot of value to sports games. Some people may not like them, but I know there's going to be a few on here people are going to really like. And I found a few of these games to be really enjoyable and ones I never played before. So I'm going to share with you a couple games off this cart that I thought were interesting. And I've covered a few of these in previous videos I've done on my ranking for Sega Genesis. I can't remember the last time I played Eliminator Boat Duel. And this is a fun boat racing game, kind of part Micro Machines, part RC Pro-Am, part Rad Racer. And there's a lot to like in this game, as well as 24 different tracks. You can upgrade your boats. I really thought there was a lot to like about this simple racing game, and I think there's going to be many people out here that are going to like to go back and revisit this NES classic. Racing Fever was a Game Boy Advance game released in Europe, and it was finally cool to check out this game. This is a good example of a game I probably wouldn't pay full price for, but included with kind of a compilation. I'm definitely going to check it out, and I enjoyed what I played so far. I like arcade style sports games, and this is Football Madness. Now this is a soccer game that tries to be nothing like realistic soccer. It's just 5-on-5. There's no ref, no rules. And this is not the best soccer game, but I like that this proves that an Evercade can do PlayStation games, and that opens up a lot of possibilities for future games. And so if you're looking for something just truly goofy, check this one out, as I found myself at least entertained playing it. I know there's a lot of fans out there that love homebrew and independent games, and this was awesome to see this. And so this is a collection of 14 different independent games released for classic consoles, all for a mere $20 on physical cart. That's an awesome deal. What's kind of cool too is I haven't played several of these. So looking at the menu here, 14 games, and some I'm really excited to see. Nguna is a great Game Boy Advance RPG game. But, some of these are brand new. And so checking out Doodle World, I've seen that before but haven't played it. Flea, I covered that on a Dreamcast previous video. Foxyland, I never played that. Kubo 3, I've heard about that game, so neat to see it on here, as well as several others. And so there's going to be several games. Super Homebrew War, which is like a homebrew Super Smash Brothers. Very sweet to see that. Twin Dragons, a game that I covered on a previous video, as well as many others. Chain Break is the perfect bite-sized game. It's great to be on the go. You're waiting in line somewhere. Oh, I love these types of games. It's got that awesome look. It definitely looks like a old school Game Boy game. And I really enjoyed playing this. What I played so far, it increases in difficulty, 25 levels, and I really like what they did here. It definitely captures that feel of a Game Boy game, and I look forward to playing this one more, and props to the developers. This is probably one of my favorite games on this collection. Game Boy fans are going to love this one. Sometimes I'm just in the mood to play a light-hearted platformer, and that's what I really liked about Doodle World. I also enjoyed that there was a kids mode in this game, so this is perfect for kids that want to play something a little bit easier. Oh, I really like the look of the graphics in this NES game, and I'm glad it's included here. Wonderful indie title. Absolutely love this next game, and there's many reasons why. It's kind of a NES style Smash Brothers game, and my daughter is one of the playable characters from Cowlitz Gamer's second adventure. It has several other awesome homebrew characters in it, including a character from Micro Mages, and oh boy, I love this game, and this is going to be a lot of fun playing against a computer. Now when the Versus console comes out later this year, you'll be able to compete against other players on the Evercade Versus. Really sweet. Team 17 is revered, and they did the Worms series, and Worms Collection 1 includes 3 Worms games, 2 that are going to be played quite a bit. Let me show you. While the Worms Collection only has 3 games on it, 2 are absolute masterpieces. When I think of all-time PC classics, Worms is up there. I absolutely love this game. I love this game series. Now, I played Armageddon more than the original, but for some out there, you might be looking at this and having it bring back a flood of memories. And so this is just the PC classic in all its entirety. You can play multiplayer as you're just kind of passing the Evercade or the controller if you're playing on the Evercade Versus later this year. This is a perfect fit on the Evercade, and you know, if you haven't played this PC classic, you're in for a treat as you're trying to take out the other players' squads of worms, different ways, different weapons. There's different ways of getting around each map. It's funny. It is just a blast to play. One of the best strategy multiplayer games I can think of, especially for classic PC games, a must play. Then there was Worms Armageddon, which was just everything that you would love about Worms. Better graphics, more customization, more weapons. Yeah, I have so many great memories of playing this with friends. It's fun to take out your friend and watch it and watch them die in agony. Just so many neat things about this game in particular. The $20 for the multi-cart is worth it for this game alone. Then there's Worms Blast, which does have kind of a puzzle bobble mode in it. I did enjoy this game the more I played it. I don't like it nearly as much as Worms or Worms Armageddon, but you know, it's probably included as just kind of a filler title for this multi-cart. But honestly, the other two make up for it as they're just truly amazing masterpiece games. But you know, if you're a fan of these puzzle style games, you may like this one. There is a ton available for the Evercade, as well as more multi-carts coming. They've announced additional multi-carts coming out this year, as well as cart number 23, and that's the Renovation Collection Volume 1. I'm really excited to see that. Are you familiar with the Evercade? Is this something you've never heard about? Comment below. And as always, thank you for the ongoing support. I really like this company. I really like what they're doing. They've had ongoing support. They're releasing multi-carts almost every month, and it's nice to see an affordable retro gaming product on the market. You know, with retro gaming prices so expensive, it's nice to see this company offering a legal option for people that either want a game on the go or connected to a TV, and that's it. I want to thank everybody for the ongoing support. If you're new to my channel, you may want to consider hitting that like and subscribe button and click the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you have a great day. Evercade continues to support its handheld as well as the upcoming Versus, and in today's video I'm looking at the newest releases that are available now. What they are is the newest multi-cartridges, and one is Codemasters and the other one is Megacat Studios 2. And so in today's video, I'm going to take a look and give you an overview of what games are available on each multi-cart and give you my thoughts about it. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this video. First up is cart number 19 from Codemasters, offering many of their classics that they released on 8 and 16-bit platforms for the NES and Sega Genesis. Games included B-52, Big Nose Freaks Out, Big Nose the Caveman, Boomerang Kid, CJ's Elephant Antics, Cannon Fodder, Cosmic Spacehead, F-16 Renegade, Linus Spacehead, Megalomania, which is Tyrants Fight Through Time here in the States, which I covered on a previous video, MiG-29 Soviet Fighter, Psycho Pinball, Sensible Soccer, Stunt Buggies, Super Skid Marks, Tennis All-Stars, and The Ultimate Stuntman. For some out there, you may have a soft spot for Cannon Fodder, and this is a great action strategy game. This is the Mega Drive version, and I'm so glad it's included on this multi-cart because I think this is going to be a fan favorite. It's important to note that these multi-carts are 20 bucks, very cheap and available now. And so I think this is going to be the one that many are going to play, as I do believe it's awesome. 24 missions, you do various things. You guide your squad of troops around, taking out buildings, taking out enemies. If you're an action strategy fan, this one is for you. What I like about this collection is it includes games that weren't released here in the United States, and one of them is Psycho Pinball. I'm a big video pinball fan, so it was cool to check this out, and checking out the different tables that are included, 4 different tables with different themes and matching sound effects and sound to go along with them. I really enjoyed this one. It's not my favorite video game pinball game, but I think it's a welcome addition, and for many out there, you may remember playing this. If you grew up with it, awesome. There's some challenging bonus mini games included in this game, often remembered as being very difficult, but you can turn them off in the option settings. Definitely worth checking out, and this is one of the better games included. Another welcome addition is Super Skid Marks, and this plays a lot like a cross between a Micro Machines game, Super Sprint, and a little bit of RC Pro-Am. I really enjoy this game, and what's cool with the Versus console coming out, you'll be able to play this split screen multiplayer, I do believe, as this game has a lot of multiplayer options. But even in a single player experience, rather difficult, but I still enjoyed playing this. Has really good graphics too. The control it's going to take a little bit for me to get used to, but I think this is going to be a lot of fun, especially with multiplayer, and so definitely excited about seeing this included on this package. This is probably going to be the #1 game many will play on this package, and that's Sensible Soccer. This is truly a brilliant combination of taking a soccer game and making a simple arcade experience. There's lots of different options you can do playing this game, and I truly love this. One of the best soccer games to be released on the 16-bit era, and you know, this is, I do believe, the Mega Drive version, but I think there's going to be a ton here for people to enjoy. I found myself really wanting to play this more and more. Again, it's just got the very simple control, but it's fast and furious, kind of like an ice hockey for the NES. I truly love this game, and I'm glad it's included. If you're like me, you might have grown up remembering these weird looking gold carts that were published and developed by Codemasters, and these are a series of classic 8-bit games, some of them better than others. My memories go with Big Nose Freaks Out. I'm showing it here as this is a game I rented back in the day at a local video store, and it's not the best game, and I actually like their 16-bit games better, but you may have fond memories of their classic 8-bit games that they made, and many of them are included on this multi-cart, and I'm glad this is the one I enjoy. If you like more indie games, look no further than Megacat Studios Collection 2, offering some unique puzzle and action games. I really like this collection. Included are Altered Ego, Archaigus Revolution, DevWell 2, Gluff, Misplaced, Romeo and Julie Cat, and Roneo's Tale, which I covered in a previous video, and Yazzie. First up is Altered Ego, and this is a Sega Genesis puzzle platformer. Really enjoy what they've done with this game, and you know, you're pretty much swapping back and forth, up and down, left and right to gather items and then clear the level. I really enjoy this puzzle platformer, and I'm glad it's included. There's so many wonderful aftermarket and independent releases for classic platforms, and having them all included on one collection for the affordable price of 20 bucks, oh my goodness, sign me up. And so really enjoy this game. I haven't played a ton of it. There are 25 levels, and I definitely will be playing this one more. It's really cool to see independent developers push original hardware, and that's what you get with Archaigus Revolution. This is a top-down shooter with Mode 7 style rotation on the Sega Genesis. And I really like this kind of simple top-down shooter where you're going around, you're gathering items, you can recover your health, you can get weapon upgrades, and you're progressing through kind of an open world top-down, finding the exit and going on to the next stage. This is a nice addition, as there's several puzzle platformers included with this multi-cart, and this is kind of more of an action-oriented game. Definitely worth checking out, and one of the better games included. Leave it up to an independent developer to have gorgeous comic book style cutscenes, as well as a unique platformer in which it incorporates kind of a combo system. I really enjoyed playing this. I wasn't too good at it, but what I've played so far, I really enjoyed what they've tried to do with this platformer. It's got excellent graphics and music, and I really like the combo system that they included. And so it's really kind of takes and makes it kind of a unique experience offering that combo. Check it out if you're looking for something different. Gluff is a unique puzzler in which you are powering up at a power station, and then you're trying to charge up all the tiles of a particular level. There's 30 different stages. I really enjoyed playing this, and it kind of is a cross between like Q*bert and something unique. I really like the graphics, and the sound is excellent, and I think there's going to be many people out here that will like this puzzler. I'm really glad that these games are included in this, because I think there's a lot of independent games that are aftermarket that aren't really utilized or appreciated, and so including them on this multi-cart all in one collection, you get to experience them at an affordable price. Another excellent platformer is Yazzie, and I really like what they did here, offering 25 levels of arcade puzzle experience, and you're gathering, I do believe, like gold or treasure, and you're locating pickaxes so you can break parts of certain areas of each stage. Definitely reminded me of a little bit of Boulder Dash mixed with Solomon's Key, and I'm a fan of these types of games. I really did like the graphics and sound. It has really tight gameplay as well. It is fairly challenging, and this is just a good example of the perfect game to be included on this multi-cart. Especially, I could see myself playing this on the go with the Evercade. Also, if you want to get this on actual physical cartridge for original hardware, check out MegaCat Studios' website. The link will be below as well to that, as many of these are offered on their own cart where you can play them on original hardware. If you're interested, I've done many more videos covering the Evercade and its multi-carts, and the links will be below for those videos. And as always, thank you for watching my video and coming to my channel. If you're new and you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell. Thank you so much for the wonderful support. Let's keep it positive. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you have a good day. There's soon to be a new retro gaming console on the market, and that's the Evercade Versus. This is a follow-up product from the Evercade handheld, which I've covered on my channel, as well as the many multi-carts that go along with the handheld and the Versus. It's a really cool lineup in which this company is taking and licensing classic video games across many different handhelds and consoles and putting them in multi-carts and offering them in $20 packages, physical releases where you can play at home, and now with the Versus you can now play with a friend. I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review, as well as covering several of the new cartridges that are compatible both with the Versus and the Evercade handheld. And so I've really enjoyed covering these multi-carts and what they offer. So sit back, relax, you may want to grab some popcorn. Here we go. Here is the Retro Game Console Premium Pack. Comes with 2 arcade multi-carts, and some great games are included. It almost includes everything that you need, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I really like the packaging, and it shows everything that's included. And one thing that you should know is it doesn't include a power brick or an HDMI cable, and so you will need to include those. It's important to know that if you are gifting this to somebody for the holidays. And here we go, I'm going to go ahead and unbox this. And so I was really excited about getting this and checking it out. I think it's got a really cool classic look. It looks kind of like if a Nintendo Entertainment System original console was made in 2021. Cool feature is the ability to hot swap cartridges and insert 2 at a time. Love that. On the back there's a reset button, HDMI cable insert, as well as where the power cable goes. So here we go. Size wise, it's about as wide as a Evercade handheld, and here's it compared to a Switch. And so nice, really compact size. It does have 4 rubber feet, and here are the 2 games that are included. Each game comes with its own clamshell and full color manual, talking about the company, talking about the games. They really go the extra mile, especially for around 20 bucks to get these carts. So I think that's an awesome value product, and it's going to appeal to a budget gamer and collector. So Data East, there's some several classics included on this. I'm going to show a few later on in this video. So it's really nice. The premium bundle does come with a nice little assortment of games. It comes with 2 controllers. The cable's super long, so I really like that, and the controllers are really nice. The manual, black and white, just standard. It comes in multiple languages, and the controller itself, the best way to describe it is combining kind of the directional pad of like maybe a Sega Genesis 6-button controller. It definitely has kind of a loose feel to it, but it has the look of an original Nintendo Entertainment System controller with some additional buttons. It does have some additional shoulder buttons from the Evercade handheld. They feel pretty nice. And here is the USB cable. Again, it doesn't come with a brick, power brick, or a HDMI cable. So you're able to hook up multiple different third-party controllers, including a wired Xbox 360 controller. Now, the Evercade Versus is compatible with all but 2 of the multi-carts released, and that's the Namco Museum 1 and 2, and that is unfortunate. There are some good games on those, but it's due to a licensing issue, and that's all that I know. Okay, once you set up your Wi-Fi, and here is when you boot up the console with a cartridge in it, and this is the Data East arcade, and you got lots of display and theme options, pixel perfect, full screen aspect ratio. You can have scan lines, subtle scan lines, or strong scan lines. I like that. And there's different bezel options. I kind of like the grid option, really like that, or the wireframe as they call it. So really neat that they give you several different options for the bezel around the game, what you're playing, and so very sweet. I also like the soothing background music. and different settings here. Just want to show you some basic options you can have in here, different languages you can set up, and really neat that they offer these settings. Gives you some additional things. Now this is kind of interesting. This is a secret code option. They haven't talked a lot about that yet, but they're gonna discuss that more later on. And so when you insert a different cartridge, it will show it. You can organize it different ways. I really like that. And so it's hot swappable, and so you don't have to turn off your console to take out a cart. Evercade is offering a new arcade series, the arcade versions of games in these kind of purple carts, and you're really going to love this. Several classics on here. This is Double Dragon 2. Each game has a menu where it shows how to play it. I'm a little rusty playing this with my son. It was the first time he was playing this, and so it was really nice to go back and play this arcade classic, the arcade version of it. And so it's really nice that they know that there's a lot of people that want to play the arcade versions. And so this is a nice little collection of arcade games from Technos. This is another one, and you're gonna have some favorites that are on here. And what's really cool is that they're all 2-player on the versus, and so playing it just like the arcade, you can join in, and you press select, you add some credits and play the game. And so there's save states as well in this game, and what's cool is the save states are connected to the cartridges, so you can continue on the go with your Evercade handheld. Really like that option. A perfect marriage for this console is the Data East Arcade Collection, and it's a combination of arcade classics and some things that are a little obscure. This is Wizard Fire. Really like this. When I showed my son this, he's like, "Dad, why don't they make more games like this now?" And he's like, I didn't grow up with games like this, but this game seems like a lot of fun. Great 2-player action. This is a fun one to check out with a friend. And if you're a fan of medieval or fantasy games, there seemed to be a ton of these back in the day, and it really just takes me back to a time of yesteryear. And so really like that this is included on this package. But maybe you're looking for something more mainstream. They have Burger Time, Lock and Chase, Breakthrough, and Bad Dudes. Oh yes. And so this definitely took me back to some arcade fun, and the arcade version is so much better than the Nintendo one. Glad it's included. Next up, and offered separately, is a Spanish company, and this is an arcade compilation. I'm not too familiar with any of these games, so I was kind of excited to check out all of them because I've never played any of them before. Did you grow up with this one? This one's new to me, but it seemed pretty fun to play and definitely would be enjoyed with a second player. This is Alligator Hunt. Another game I've never played is Thunder Hoop, so I thought I'd check it out. And so games load pretty fast on the Evercade Versus, and wanted to show you that. So it's got the nice arcade setup intro, and you can jump right into a game. This is pretty interesting kind of platform. It's always neat to play a game I've never checked out before. I'm always curious too on if someone grew up with an obscure arcade game and their experiences with it. If you played this one, comment below, as I would love to hear your stories. Now this one's going to be a huge hit with classic arcade fans, and this is Atari Arcade 1, and it has many hits that you are going to love to play, including Centipede, Millipede, Cannon Bomber, Asteroids Deluxe, Crystal Castles. You are going to love this collection of Atari Arcade, especially if you grew up like I did on the Atari classics in the arcade. It's really nice to see Crystal Castles here, and so it's a nice little compilation, and it looks and plays great. I think they really nailed this one, and it's nice to see Atari support this, as there's many game companies that are offered on these Evercade products. And so I think that's the strength of the Evercade lineup, as it's able to get many game companies to do compilations. Millipede, one of my favorite Atari arcade games. I liked it a lot more in Centipede, and I really enjoy playing the arcade version. And you know, I just had to test it. I took this cartridge out, I played it in my Evercade handheld, worked great. What's your favorite Atari arcade game? Well, maybe you weren't an Atari guy or person. You may be more into Intellivision. Well, look no further than the Intellivision Collection 1. And this has many classics that made the console popular. Astro Smash, Buzz Bombers, Frog Bog, Night Stalker, Pinball even has Princess Quest, which is a great homebrew. I'm going to show you that. You are going to find a game that you like on this and enjoy it. It's been forever since I checked out Night Stalker. What a great game and classic to include on this compilation. It looks like they're going to do another compilation as well, so if your game that you grew up with your Intellivision is not on this, it may be on the next one. And so really excited to see Night Stalker on here. It was one of my favorites on the console, so I'm not too good at playing it, but I definitely will get better now. And so another game that was one of my favorites was Thin Ice, and Thin Ice is another fun one. It kind of has a simple gameplay mechanic, kind of like Kicks, and I really enjoyed playing this back in the day, and I'm really glad it's included, as it is fast, arcade, fun, and I'm glad it is on this compilation. But what's really neat is a really cool homebrew, and hard to get now, is Princess Quest. And this one kind of takes me back to like a Ghost and Goblin style game. Really well done here, and I enjoyed playing this one. I didn't play the Intellivision one too much. I played more of the ColecoVision version, but this is a wonderful homebrew and included on this. Just another great game that is worth checking out, especially if you're a big fan of Intellivision. Then there is the Bitmap Brothers Collection, which is only a small group of games, but some great ones. So there's only 5 games on this compilation, but you get 3 different speedballs, including the Master System one, I do believe, and the PlayStation one, but the one I'm excited about is the Chaos Engine. So this is just a great game. I'm really glad it's included here. Great 2-player fun. You can play single player with the CPU doing controlling the second player, and really enjoy that. Speedball 2, which is a favorite for many for futuristic sports, and this one's a lot of fun to play. Definitely worth checking out. So you can get a base versus package for about $100, or if you want to go the premium mode, you can get it for about $130 with an extra controller and game. I think that definitely is the way to go. Overall, I think it's a great value product. Minor criticisms, you know, I'm always a big fan of including an HDMI and a power brick with a unit, especially if you want to gift it. You know, you don't know if that other person has those pieces lying around. So that's a minor gripe, not a big deal. It's obviously to keep the cost down. So the other minor gripe is I had a slight issue with powering my unit on. The cable connecting into my unit was a little difficult to get it powered on. I just had to have the cable just right, and then it turned on. But nevertheless, overall, I think this is a great package, and I look forward to this being released. It's going to be released in the States this next year, early January. So stay tuned. I do think this is a good retro gaming product. It does get my thumbs up. Overall, I think it's a fantastic package, offering a value experience, especially for a new collector. You know, I've been discussing on my channel how expensive things are. This is a great thing to jump into and collect and game and play. And overall, I think they're offering a wide variety of games across several different platforms. So thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell. And as always, thank you for coming to my channel. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you have a great day. I've covered the Evercade Versus on my channel, as well as the other products, the Evercade handheld and the various cartridges that go along with these products. In today's video, I'm actually going to be covering the secret games that are unlocked on the Evercade. That's right, there's actually more games with a combination of button touches as well as a combination of different cartridges. You can unlock an additional 7 games. I'm here to unlock 7 additional games on your Evercade Versus. I know it's not out yet here in the States, going to come in January, and it's coming very soon to Europe. And so I'm really excited about this product. I think it's a wonderful device that covers lots of retro gaming on Multicarts. What's cool is there's more games that are going to be announced to be unlocked, and so I'm really excited to see that. So this is a reference guide to get additional 7 games on your Evercade Versus. So it is a spoiler alert, so sit back, relax. You may want to grab some popcorn. Here we go. First up requires Atari Collection 1 and 2. These are great multi-carts that have a combination of 2600 and Atari 7800 games on them, which is kind of cool because that's not offered many other places. You stick both cartridges into the Evercade Versus, 1 or 2, 2 or 1, it doesn't matter which order, and then you go to the menu where it shows all the games on the cartridges, and you go down and there's an extra game. That's right, Dark Chambers. That's an amazing game to be unlocked. As you know, if you're a fan of Gauntlet and you haven't played this, it's actually based on a precursor to Gauntlet called Dandy. This was released on the Atari 8-bit, Atari 2600, and the 7800 version. This can be a 2-player cooperative game, and so it's perfect for the Evercade Versus. There's keys, there's food, there's power-ups, there's treasure, there's enemies, there's enemy generators that you have to destroy. 26 different levels and 3 difficulty settings. This is an awesome game. As a bonus game, it's even more amazing. It's also important to mention that you can get this game for the Atari VCS, and the Atari VCS is releasing additional Atari 7800 games. Next up, you take the Atari Lynx Collection 1 and 2, a very affordable way of experiencing Lynx games. As you know, Lynx collecting can be expensive, and so you take those 2 cartridges, you put them in your Evercade Versus. Again, it doesn't matter which order, and you go down, and there's an unlockable homebrew game from Yastuna Games, Raid on Tri-City Second Wave. I actually did a whole video on this company and some of the homebrew games that they're offering on the Atari Lynx, and so you may want to check that out as well. And this is a fun little game. It's kind of a combination between like a Tetris style puzzle game and a classic shooter, and so you're destroying blocks and collecting various power-ups that are coming from the top of the screen. You have to kind of take out enemies as well as when they appear, and you're forming lines just kind of like a classic Tetris game. It's a lot of fun. It does get very intense, and so I really think this is a cool way for people to experience aftermarket games, and I think it's a great extra bonus. Next up, you take Pico Interactive Game Collections 1 and 2. Same thing, you place them into your Evercade Versus, doesn't matter which order. Once you're on the game menu, you navigate down and you're going to notice an additional game like the other unlockables that I've shown, and there it is, Pyramids of Ra. If you are familiar with Game Boy games, you will know that this title sounds familiar. It is based on the same gameplay, but it has different music, and it's really cool. This is a perfect additional game for this collection, and it's really sweet to see these games being offered. Now, there also is a physical version of this game you can get from Pico Interactive themselves, but why not test it here? And so this is a straight up puzzle game in which you're trying to clear all the tiles to get to the end, and then you go to the next stage. There are many different stages, so for people that are straight up puzzle fans, you're gonna love this one. And I think this is a good bonus game, and I find myself playing more and more puzzle games. I don't know if that's because I'm getting older and it's something I'm more intrigued with, but I think this is an awesome addition and definitely worth checking out. Next up, you take the 2 cartridges shown here. I know the arcade carts aren't out yet, but you take these 2 carts, insert them in the Versus. This is a neat aftermarket game to be an unlockable. And you go to the title screen, you move over, and there it is, Arcade Rush. And this is a really cool game in which you're trying to take care of an arcade. It also is up to a 4-player game. It gets pretty crazy fast. And so you are in charge of an arcade and things are breaking down. You have to pull PCBs, you have to clean the arcades, you have to use a soldering iron to repair the PCBs and put them back. And so you have a time limit. You can play this as a single player game. It gets pretty hectic as you're controlling one of 2 characters, but really the fun is at a 4-player game. I really enjoy this aftermarket game. It's a lot of fun. I haven't played it before. And so this is just kind of a neat concept, and it just shows all the maintenance that is required when you are handling an arcade. I just think it's a great representation in a game mode of that. Very sweet. The next few games are completely unlockable with just a press of a few buttons, and you hold L1, R1, and up on the menu screen just like so with no cartridge inserted, and then you get this game. That's awesome that the Evercade Versus itself has an unlockable game. Actually, it has a few games I'm going to show you. And so this is a very simple aftermarket NES game, but it's a lot of fun. Up to 4 players too. This gets intense, super fast, and the goal is to get the best time. You're going to die a lot in this game, but a lot of fun. It's got some cool graphics and simplistic gameplay. This would make a great party game and one that's a perfect fit for the Versus. The next one, you just hold L1, R1, and down, and you get a completely different game with no cart inserted in your Versus. How awesome is that? 2 bonus unlockable games without a single cart. Absolutely free if you get a Versus. And so the next one is Spacey McRacy, and this is another party style game, up to 4 players, lots of fun, and I think this is just an awesome way of offering a bonus game. You know, these are aftermarket games, and I think they are a lot of fun and a perfect fit. As you know, the Evercade Versus is really representing lots of retro gaming across a wide variety of consoles and handhelds. And Spacey McRacy is a game pretty much you're competing against opponents. You're trying to win the race, also gathering power-ups and different points. It can be very challenging. You can take out your enemies. There's different modes and ways of winning each stage. This is going to get pretty intense fast with your friends and family, and it is just a neat bonus game to offer. The next one is a simple combination of L2, R2, and select with any cart inserted in the Evercade Versus. So that's pretty sweet. This just takes 1 cart and the combination of button presses shown on the screen. And I have an Atari arcade cartridge inserted. It'll look different on your screen, but after the button presses, there you go, Gotris. And this is a new puzzle game released this year. Very sweet, a combination of Go and Tetris into a unique experience. I'm not too good at this puzzle game, as you know, I haven't played a ton of Go. I've played a lot of Tetris, but it's just a mix, a weird combination. I would love to see some competitive playing of this version of puzzle game, as I think it's pretty interesting, and it's got really nice graphics and sound. I'm playing against the computer, and you have a turn, they have a turn, and you're rotating blocks that compose of different black and white counters, and with the proper combination of counters around a opposite color, you then score points. There's also counter moves. This is complex yet very addictive, and so I'm not the best at playing this puzzle game, but I could see people really getting into it and having it as a bonus game You know, that's just amazing. That's really cool. I can't think of many different consoles that exist that have these types of bonus games included. If you're interested more about the Evercade Versus or their products, I will include a playlist in the description. There will be additional games that can be unlocked on the Evercade Versus, and they are going to announce that at a later date. Really excited to see what they are doing with this Versus console. It's pretty awesome that there's additional games that you can play. I wanted to make this as a reference guide for people how to easily unlock these. The link will be below to places where you can purchase these cartridges, which are required to unlock some of the games shown in today's video. And so what do you think of the Evercade Versus, of what you've seen? Is it something you're interested in? Comment below. And what is your favorite game that you saw today? I want to thank everybody for the ongoing support. If you like what you see, you may want to comment below. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I've had a lot of fun doing and covering these products on my channel. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock. Thank you so much, and you have a good day. The long wait is over. I am going to be doing a bonus video today unboxing my Evercade Versus Founder Edition from Funstock. I purchased this, and this is a limited edition black edition of the Evercade Versus. And so anybody could have ordered this. It went very fast, and I have to say I'm really excited about this. I'm a big fan of the Evercade line, both handheld and console, and I know a lot of people have been asking for this, so I'm doing a bonus video unboxing this. This is what it looks like. I know there's going to be several collectors out there not unboxing theirs. I am going to be unboxing this and sharing with you what's in it, how it looks. If you're looking for gameplay and footage, I've done a whole other video series on the Evercade, and I'll put a link below. You can watch all my Evercade videos. So here we go. This is a pretty large box, as the packaging is similar to the Evercade Versus, but it does include a couple additional items, so the box is bigger. And so my box was slightly damaged. I'm not a big deal, as you know, this came from overseas, and so with shipping the way it is these days, I'm just lucky to get it before Christmas. And so really cool. Funstock delivered on their promise of delivering this to people. This is pretty much, I do believe, the only way people here in the States could have gotten the Evercade Versus before Christmas. And so I wanted to unbox this. It is sealed in cellophane, and so I'm unsealing it, as you know, this is meant to be played, and I wanted to share with you what it looks like. So it's on there pretty tight, so I wanted to just take this off and just try to be delicate as possible. And tearing this off. I wonder if sealed game collectors are crying right now. It's okay. It's okay if you collect sealed games. For this, you know, I wanted to unbox it and show the internals. As you know, people are curious about what that console looks like in that black color, as well as controllers. Just trying to be careful as possible. Looks awesome. That's cool packaging. So here we go. Going to be unboxing this, and wanted to share with you what I think of it. You know, the Evercade, if you haven't heard about it, it's the console version of the handheld, even though the handheld can be hooked up to a TV. And it's really for multiplayer games. It plays all the same carts, minus both Namco carts, which some people are bummed out about. But the Founder Edition comes with 6 different multi-carts, and there's some awesome ones. Really sleek packaging there. So it unboxes, like I said before, like the Versus. And there it is. I have to say it looks pretty awesome. So in my other video, I talk about the Evercade Versus. It comes with 4 controller ports. You can insert 2 cartridges at once, and there are bonus games that you can unlock. I did a video on that as well. And so it hooks up HDMI cable, and power brick are not included. But you know, it is an awesome handheld and console. But this is the Versus, and in a limited edition colored black color. It comes with a steel book and where you can place your carts. I thought that was awesome. It's one of the bonus items with the Founder Edition. For a little bit over 200 bucks, that's how much this cost when it came out. Sold out pretty fast. That's awesome looking. Trying to get it open here. There you go. It comes with a certificate of authenticity. Comes with some art cards showing like the diagrams of the controller and console, with an Evercade keychain. Kind of this is just all just bonus items. But collectors out there collect this stuff, you know, and love all the little goodies. Love that it comes with a steel book. That's pretty neat. I've done several videos on the Evercade, so if you're looking for gameplay, what it looks like, what it offers, I have several videos talking about the Evercade. I'm also going to put a link below on some affiliate links to places on Amazon where you can still pre-order the Versus console. As you know, people are still interested and where to find this. I would probably go to Amazon. There's a couple other places that you may want to check out. You may want to go to Evercade, their website themselves, if you live in a different country. And there's a couple vendors around that are offering products such as Funstock. I know Best Buy is offering this as well. Not the Founder Edition though. Only at Funstock is this particular version. So it comes with the link cable. So this is one of the easiest and earliest ways you could have got the link cable. What the link cable is it's a specific cable that connects the Evercade handheld to the Versus, in which you can use it as a controller. I think that's really cool. You can't use a standard micro USB controller cable. You have to use their cable. I've already tried. So yes. Here is a bonus poster, Founder Edition. So it includes some artwork and some of the games offered. Very, very cool. One of the 6 multi-carts offered in this bundle. The newest releases, including the Intellivision cart and the arcade multi-carts, can be pre-ordered as well. And they started the numbering. They reset the numbering for the arcade carts, so you know, just to distinguish them from console and homebrew multi-cart releases. I think that's sweet. And so the arcade multi-carts are purple in color. Here's the Data East, and these are the arcade versions of the games. And so American Technos, just some amazing arcade games on there, including Double Dragon 2. But wait, there's more. One of my favorite releases, the Atari Arcade Multi-Cart. Pretty awesome. And here's kind of an obscure company, and there's their releases. I covered this in my Evercade Versus video. So if you're wondering, hey, why aren't you showing gameplay? I did that in another video. Very sweet. Data East with the Burger Time release on arcade version, so that's going to be very popular. Here's the Bitmap Brothers. Not many games included on there, but Speedball 2, that's going to be huge, as well as the Chaos Engine. Here's Intellivision and some amazing classics on that, and some homebrew. So here it is. Here's the controllers, as well as the link cable, which is going to be red in color. Let's look at this controller here. I'm not going to lie, it looks amazing in black. And you can order additional black controllers, I do believe, from Funstock. I don't know if they're still available, but there it is. There's the Versus controller, man. That looks slick. It's got a nice feel to it. I like what they did. Definitely has a classic design. It is redesigned a little bit from the handheld. It has 2 shoulder buttons on both left and right. Here's the micro USB cable, and there is the link cable. Nice length there too. The controllers too have a nice length. I think they're 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet. So even though they're wired, and by the way, the Versus does take additional controllers. So if you don't want to use the controller it comes with, you can use third-party controllers. Let's put it back here. And hopefully I won't damage it too much. Just wanted to unbox it. I know there's a lot of people out there. What did the Founders Edition look like? And wanted to do a bonus video on my channel. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell as I'm uploading content all the time, multiple videos a week. And if you're looking for Evercade versus games or console, I'm going to put some affiliate links in the description where you can find them on Amazon. Thank you for watching this video. This is Immortal John Hancock, and you take care. I have covered a lot of Evercade on my channel, and I'm really excited to get the newest releases from Blaze Entertainment, and this is the Renovation Collection 1. This is Multicart number 23. And I am a huge Renovation fan. I actually did a ranking video of their games for the Sega Genesis, and this includes 12 games that Renovation published, including several classics. You're gonna have your favorites. I know I have mine. And so what I'm doing is covering all the Evercade products, and if you want to see more, there's a playlist, and the link is below to my other Evercade videos. So here it is, Renovation. I know for many Sega Genesis and Mega Drive fans, you know, they had some excellent releases, and I know that, you know, whether you're into RPGs or shooters, you know, Renovation really was kind of like a great third-party publisher for the Sega Genesis, and, you know, it was a subsidiary of Telenet. And a lot of these original releases are super expensive now. So getting all of them for the low price of $20, that's awesome. And so here we go. Here's the list of the games. And I'm going to show you just a sample of gameplay footage. I'm not going to go in depth here. This is just kind of a first look. But, you know, if you grew up with Sega Genesis, or maybe you didn't, maybe you kind of missed the boat and you want to sample what Renovation offered. This is the first volume. First up, Arcus Odyssey, and this is kind of a gauntlet style game. One of 4 characters you can play. It's a great versus game too, because you can play it with 2 players. Pretty difficult. I do enjoy this game, and it's actually one of my more favorite games of this collection. I have about 5 on this first collection that I prefer, and this is one of those. For sure, lots to enjoy here. Magic, branching levels and stuff. Next up is Beast Wrestler. Now, this is not my favorite game. There are some people out here that like the art design, and if you're into wrestling games and like fighting with weird aliens, this one doesn't do it for me, but I know there's fans out there. So yes, another versus game that you can play with another player, or play against the computer. But, you know, unique design, if anything. I didn't like the gameplay of this one, but, you know, for some out there, you really enjoy this. Next up is a pinball game, Dino Land. And, you know, while I don't like the ball physics of this, I have really been getting into pinball games lately. And so this one was kind of fun to go back and revisit. But for sure, of this collection, I mean, you could go and do much worse. For 20 bucks, 12 Renovation games, yeah, sign me up. This is a great collection of games. This is kind of middle of the road for me for pinball games, but El Viento is definitely one of the best on this collection. Hands down, probably one of the best of what they've released with Volume 1, and I know there's many fans of this game. Excellent side-scroller, magic, great gameplay. Really, it's everything you would want in a Sega Genesis release. For sure, this is going to be a very affordable way of playing this the legal way. And I know there's fans out there. For sure, this is the top of the list. Now, Exile, I played this more on a TurboGrafx 16 CD. But, you know, adding an RPG, it really kind of mixes it up. And so there's lots of different games on this collection. And Exile's not bad. I do like the side-scrolling action parts of this game. So it's not just kind of the run-of-the-mill RPG. It has some colorful graphics. And you are going to have many hours of gameplay with built-in save slots too. Final Zone is kind of an overhead isometric perspective mech game and taking out enemies each level. The gameplay for me was a little clunky, but you know, if you're a fan of games like Desert Strike or something, you may feel right at home where you like mech games. But for me, there were some other games that I preferred on this collection, but Final Zone's not bad. Another A-tier game is Gyara's, and this is an excellent horizontal shooter, one of the best on the Sega Genesis, with its cool power-up system where you're stealing abilities from enemies. Fantastic. By far one of the best of this collection, and worth the admission price alone. I love this game. It's one of my favorite shooters for the Sega Genesis, and in my original ranking of this, I do believe I gave it an A. Someone give it an S. Anyways, next up is Granada. Granada is a great top-down kind of tank shooter. Lots of cool enemies and power-ups and huge levels. There is a timer on the level, each level, but you know, I know there's lots of fans of this single-player game. It is a really awesome experience and one of the better games on this collection. This is definitely in that kind of like top 6 on this collection for sure for me personally. Next up is Sol Dece, which is not as good as Gyara's, and you know, for me it's kind of an average shooter, but it's a welcome addition. I mean, all these games for only 20 bucks. I mean, I know there's, for many out there, this is going to be one of the best Evercade multi-carts in the collection. I have a friend, he's a huge fan of Renovation. He's really excited about this compilation, and I think they did awesome choosing 12 great games, mixed it up. Next one is Treja, and Treja is kind of your standard RPG, kind of old school. Some of the interface is a little clunky, but you can do much worse. And if you're a fan of old school RPGs, I think this is going to be an excellent choice. You know, for me lately, with just really my busy schedule, it's hard for me to delve into RPGs, but I know there's several fans out there, and this is a good pick for sure. Next, you have the original Valis for the Sega Genesis. Now, I prefer Valis 3. I thought Valis 1 was a little slow, but if you want to go back and play the original Valis for Sega Genesis, this is by far one of the most affordable ways of doing it legally. And, you know, I know, you know, going back and checking out the story and, you know, seeing how far the series has progressed as well. You know, I really like that it's included on here, but, you know, for me, it's all about Valis 3. I really think this is a much better game. I love the intermissions. I love the gameplay is a little bit faster. I thought the level design was better. It's just, to me, a much better game and one of my favorites on this collection. El Viento and Gyara's is probably my 2 favorite of all time, but this is definitely in the top 6. But, you know, for this collection, it's amazing. Gets my thumbs up. Next up is a very different collection from Gremlin. And I know there's fans out there of this publisher and creator of many games for home computer as well as console. And what this is 6 games and very diverse collection here. And I have way less experience with the games offered on this collection. I'm just going to be straight up. This is definitely a first look. I have a couple games I've checked out before, but for the most part, this was a new experience for me. And so this is Multicart number 24. And I know that there are people out there that are really excited about this collection. So on this collection, there's 6 games, everything from early PlayStation games, a soccer game, a racing game, a Game Boy puzzle game, a football or soccer manager game, and Zool. So, it's really kind of an eclectic combination of games. First up is a soccer game, and I haven't played this one. I know that there's fans of it. I know there was a sequel, I think 2 sequels to this, but it's not bad. What I played so far, I played the arcade mode of it. I don't have a lot of experience with this. I don't have any nostalgic connections to this game, but definitely tell me what you think of this game in the comments. But for me, as an addition to, I wouldn't go out and get this game, but as part of the collection, I didn't think it was a bad game at all. Next, you had Brain Bender, and this was a puzzle game, one that I didn't have any experience with. You're reflecting light to take out enemies, and it was a unique experience. For me, this is definitely one I was terrible at, need to play it more, and for sure, but there's well over 120 levels, so I think this is a great addition to this collection. Is it one that I'm going to go back and play a lot? Probably not, but it is something different and unique. It's nice to see some Game Boy games. Next is an early racing game for PlayStation, Hardcore 4x4. I know it was on a couple other platforms, and I haven't played this one a lot either. I did think the control was a little too loose for me, for sure, but it's nice to see more PlayStation games as it opens up a wide variety of companies, and it's nice to see that the Evercade is emulating PlayStation games successfully. So I want to see more PlayStation 1 games. Next, we had Premier Manager 97. I have zero experience with this game. If sports management is your thing, you're going to feel right at home with this. Tons of different things that you have to take care of with your team to get to the Premier League. This is definitely not a game that I'm going to pursue, but this might be your thing for sure. There's lots here. Tell me in the comments if you've played it. Next up is Utopia, the Creation of a Nation, and this is kind of a Sim City style game. Again, not really a game that I'm going to go out and play, but it's more focused on combat rather than building, but there's a lot here if you're into those sim style games. Really in-depth game, and I know there are fans out there of this game and these types of games. Really what it comes down to is the one game I did have a little bit of experience with was Zool, because it was released on the Sega Genesis. This, I do believe, is the Sega Genesis release from what I have played. One thing I would hope in the future is that Blaze Entertainment would do a better job at identifying which version of the game is included on these collections. But nevertheless, both of these are a great addition to the Evercade growing library, with more planned in the future. I'm really excited. By far, I think the renovation collection for me personally is much better. But what did you think? Comment below. Thank you for coming to my channel. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you have a great day. I have the latest games from Evercade, and in today's video, I'm sharing these with you. All 33 games, that's right, 33 new games that you can play on your Evercade. 2 multi-game cartridges are on pre-order, and they'll be available at the end of the month. You can go to Songbird Productions for that. But the other 2 are out, and in today's video, I'm sharing footage from all of these, plus 2 hidden games. That's right, there's hidden games on the Evercade, whether you play on the handheld or the new Versus. Really excited about this company, and they keep making some awesome games and multi-game cartridges that you can play either on the go or at home with a friend. So sit back, relax, let's take a look. First up, you got the Jalico Arcade, and it comes with these extra arcade cards that explain some information about the games, as well as a full color manual. I love myself some brawlers, and first up is 64th Street, and this is a 2-player co-op. You can gather weapons, but what's really neat about this game is you can throw people into the background and smash walls and smash windows and smash bricks, and it can unlock different items, and you get a special move different when your health is low. This is a cool platformer, Avenging Spirit, and you can take over enemies, and each enemy has a different ability. Really love this game, and you can get a special best ending if you get the keys from stages 2, 5, and 6. Next up is Psy Battler, and this is a vertical mech shooter, classic shooter, and you can do co-op in it. It does have a unique control setup where you can angle and position yourself around the screen in all directions. Different loadout for each stage. Next up is EDF, and this is the arcade version, 2-player co-op in this horizontal shooter. Haven't played this one, so it's nice to see it included here. Lots of frantic dodging going on the screen, and I think shooter fans are going to rejoice as this rounds a very nice collection. Taking on a more classic airplane theme, and you have P-47, the Phantom Fighter, and I really enjoyed this one. I don't have a lot of experience playing this one, but it has 8 stages, nice colorful backgrounds, and one with sub-weapons. I'm sure classic shooter fans are going to rejoice. Next up is Rodland, and it should be renamed Sparkle. This game reminds me of Bubble Bobble, Snow Brothers, those types of games and gameplay styles. Very colorful graphics where you take your wand and you pause enemies and then whack them back and forth. Next up is a horizontal shooter that did get a lot of classic computer ports back in the day, and this is Saint Dragon. I know there's going to be fans of this game. One of the better shooters on this package. And what's cool is you maneuver around and your tail is armored, so use it to deflect shots, and I think a lot of people are going to like it. Next up is kind of a spiritual sequel to the legendary axe in TurboGrafx 16, done by the same development team. Really like this one. Haven't played the arcade a ton. I've played it a little bit. Mostly played the Nintendo version, which is completely different. I like what we've played so far. Next up is the second collection from Guileco, and this includes 6 different games. First one is Big Karnak, and this is a side-scrolling platformer from the arcades. A lot of people in the States haven't played a lot of these games, so it's nice to see this collection here. Next up is Maniac Square, and this is kind of a more traditional puzzle match 3 style game. Single player and versus modes are included. For a puzzle game, not bad. Next up is Squash, and this took me back to my childhood when my parents took me to a fitness gym. And you know what? Not bad for a traditional sports game, and one that I'm probably going to play more. Next up is a fun, over-the-top run and gun, and that's Thunder Hoop 2. And really think this is an odd one. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be happy to see this included. As you know, I haven't had a lot of time playing this one, didn't grow up playing it, but from what I played so far, it's pretty interesting. It's like if Rambo, Battletoads, and Aliens had a baby. Next up is Touch and Go, and this is beach volleyball. This is a game I probably wouldn't go out of my way to play in the arcades, but included on a $20 multi-game cartridge. Not bad. Found myself liking this sports game as well, and I'm really glad that they included it. World Rally 2 is an isometric racing game for a single player, and I like these types of games. I do enjoy watching rally racing. I sometimes go on YouTube and watch video clips, but yeah, this is fun. It's got some good graphics. One to check out for sure. If you put both Guileco arcade carts in your Evercade Versus, you get a bonus game called Bang, and I love that Evercade is doing this. This is a crosshair shooter. It's got several different stages. Lot of fun here. I enjoyed this one, and as a bonus game, sign me up. I'm really excited about this next one, and it's the Morph Cat Games Collection 1. First up is Bobble, and this is an exploratory game where you're going around various levels, getting power-ups, and rescuing little duckies. Man, I didn't have really an opinion of this, never played it before, but holy cow, what a great side-scrolling adventure game. Next up is one of my favorite aftermarket NES games ever made, and that's Micro Mages. You must play this 4-player. Oh my goodness, so good. I love everything about this game. Huge fan of it, and by far the best game on this package. It's a must-play. Totally recommend it. One of the 2 bonus games included on this multi-cart are Micro Mages Second Quest, and it's more Micro Mages, but extra difficult levels. I found myself not wanting to put the controller down and finish this video. I wanted to keep playing it, as this is one I definitely want to beat. Seagulls is an original title that, I didn't have an expectation, but once I started playing it, man, I really like what they've done here, combining several aspects of many platform and arcade games. This is a game that you can speed run, lots of different cool enemies and places to explore. Yes, I'm going to be playing this one more. Next up is a demo, and it did put Morph Cat games on the map, and it's Super Bat Puncher. A second player can join the fun by controlling Sirloin, and you know what? What I played so far, not bad, and definitely worth a look. Next up is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm really glad that they included the Intellivision Collection 2, as many of these games utilize the virtual keypad, and included are these cards which help understand how to play these games. The instruction booklet is super important playing these following games. Once you figure out the control on each game, which is different, you are going to have an enjoyable experience for the most part, especially people that grew up with Intellivision. I know there's a lot of Intellivision fans out there that are really excited about seeing these included. I really have enjoyed Cloudy Mountain, and I know for many classic Intellivision fans are really excited about seeing this on this collection. The controls are pretty good, and I found myself really wanting to come back and play this more. Lots to this game in many different difficulty settings. Next is my favorite on this collection, and it's Hover Force. A good buddy of mine showed me this back in the day. I'm really thankful because I probably wouldn't have picked it up. And this is a late release for the Intellivision, 86. And there's lots to it. As you're taking out enemies, you're also putting out fires. There's a radar, there's fuel. Man, I love this game. Next up is Motocross. And, like many of these games on this collection, you have to figure out the control. It takes a little bit. Give yourself some time. Many of these aren't just pick up and play. You have to figure them out. But once you figure out the controls, I think there's going to be many people that will like these. Another late release is Mountain Madness Super Pro Scheme. What's really cool about Intellivision games, lots of different options, and I love that. This one is probably my most enjoyable one that I recommend on this collection, as I found myself wanting to go back and try to best my score and beat my times. This is up there with Hover Force. This next game, Reversi, also known as Othello, several different names. Not my thing, not my cup of tea, but you might be a fan of this board game. This is a game that I'm going to probably pass on. This next one is probably one of the better games on this collection, and that's Sharp Shot, a combination of 4 different settings, and it is an arcade-style shooter where you're gathering points, and I like this one. Not the last release for the original Intellivision, but one of the last releases is Stadium Mud Buggies, and this game on physical cartridge is super expensive, so offering it in an affordable package such as this, people get to experience one of the final games made for the Intellivision. This next one I know is one that many Intellivision enthusiasts grew up with, and it's Star Strike, and it's inspired by a science fiction films. I wonder which one. Love this animation of the Earth blowing up. This next one I tried to put some time in to figure out the controls, and I just wasn't getting it. It's something I need to play more to understand how this is best to be played on the Evercade, but I tried several events and just couldn't master it. Need more time. This next game is very involved. It's going to require the cards that came with the multi-cart to figure out 7 different scenarios. This is an RPG, Tower of Doom, and I know there's going to be many people excited to see this. The controls are complicated, but once I was starting to figure out the controls, I found myself enjoying this one a lot more. definitely well worth a look. Vectron is definitely the what the heck of the compilation. It is a strategic shooter in which you must construct energy bases by firing at your energy block cursor. Construct a complete base to pass each level. A creative design indeed. The other hidden game is if you put both Intellivision cart collections into your Evercade Versus, you get Zombie Madness. Now, I covered this game on a previous video I did for Halloween, and wow, what a great bonus game. I love that Evercade is doing this. I can't wait to see what other games are unlocked with additional carts. There also is a game of the month, which I covered on a Facebook video, and this game of the month for July is Cowlitz Gamers Trilogy. That's right. 3 games that I have a special connection to, and you may want to check that out. You can download it through the settings, and it's going to be on an actual physical cart, these 3 games, later on in the year under Indie Heroes 2, I do believe. And so really excited to see that, as well as the C64 cart is a new computer line that they've announced. So they keep scheduling new carts, and they're doing a great job with communication, and I'm really excited to see them be successful. A lot of people are talking about it. It's retro done right, and it has my 100% support, as I think this is a great affordable product, an affordable way of collecting physical. Thank you so much for coming to this channel, and really want to appreciate your support. And if you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell if you haven't already, as I upload new content and different content every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is Immortal John Hancock, and you take care. I have the latest carts from Blaze Entertainment for the Evercade lineup, and this is the C64 collection. So excited to be sharing these new carts with you. I've done all the other products and games on my channel, and I have a dedicated playlist. That's kind of cool. The C64 comes with a code on 2 cards. I'm going to share what that does later in this video. And with all the other Evercade carts, affordably priced in full color, explains about the collection for the Commodore 64, and just fantastic, absolutely wonderful. I know there's a lot of fans of the Commodore 64, and this collection is pretty solid. I'm actually very impressed with the selection of games, and I think they did a good job and a wide assortment. There's going to be your games that you like, and there'll probably be a couple games that you prefer not to play. I have my favorites and ones that I prefer over others on this collection, but for the price, you know, 20-25 bucks, depending on where you get it. Wow, awesome. Just amazing that they can put these together, and this is beginning a new computer lineup. That's why the case is blue, because they're going to plan on doing many other releases for the Evercade computer lineup. Here's Alley Cat. I'm going to go through each game briefly. You know, this is kind of a cool like racing game in which you're trying to go through these tunnels, picking up energy, taking out enemies. Fairly difficult. Not too good at this one. Never played it before, but I know there's several people out here that remember these. All these are releases that came back from yesteryear. Many of these came out a little bit later in the life of the Commodore 64. Here's Battle Valley, another one I didn't grow up playing, but this one is kind of a tactics action game. You're maneuvering a tank and a helicopter through a battlefield, taking out enemy weapons, and pretty sweet. Nice graphics and animation. I know there's going to be people that remembered playing this back in the day, and for me, I just played some other games. Gateway to Apshai, such a timeless classic. I remember playing this, I do believe, on the ColecoVision. So I don't know if I'm too familiar with the C64 version, but pretty awesome. Dungeon crawler. You can gather items and weapons and unlock doors. There's just a lot of cool things about this. One of the better games, I think, on this collection for me personally. I had some experience with this a little bit growing up, so you know you're going to have those games that you're going to prefer over others. Impossible Mission, another one And, you know, these are some of the more popular games, I do believe. Love that speech, by the way. And this is a cool one. A really well done animation and graphics. You know, the C64 was really capable. You know, the best selling single model computer, at least for a long time. I don't know if that record still stands, but, you know, around the world, this is known to be an amazing gaming computer. Iridius Alpha, a Jeff Minter game, a game that I'm not too familiar with, but like many other Jeff Minter games, intense. You know, this was the first time for me playing this, and really enjoy this one being on here. Just colorful and wonderful, and you know, I'm really excited to see what other games are included on a second collection, as this one is pretty solid. One of my favorite games on this collection was Jumpman. I do love the Jumpman series, especially Jumpman Jr., and really, really happy to see this one. This is one I'm definitely going to go back and play more. Challenging little platformer here, kind of reminds me of a throwback to something reminiscent of a Donkey Kong game with its own spin. Fun little animations, especially when you die. Love it. Lee, which was renamed for probably various licensing issues from Bruce Lee. I know many people remember playing this on 8-bit, C64, ZX Spectrum. I'm sure it was on other platforms as well. But wow, this is a fun little action platformer, and there's even a 2-player mode that I'm not too familiar with that's included in this. So if you're playing on the Versus, that might be worth checking out. Love this one. And the surprise, though, was Marauder. I didn't grow up playing this. This is kind of a top-down shooter. Really, really well-done music. You know, the C64, known for its amazing sound chip. And, you know, it really demonstrates it here. I really enjoyed playing this one. And excellent graphics and sound for sure. It definitely captures a vibe, an eerie vibe. And I really like that. Stormlord, I played this a lot on the Sega Genesis. The C64 one is well done, and I'm sure many people remember playing this one. Pretty popular. And you go around 4 different worlds or levels, collecting various items and solving puzzles as you capture and rescue fairies. So pretty sweet. Nice collection here. They did a good job with the C64 collection. There's a couple oddities such as Street Sports Baseball. They had that, you know, Epic's license. So this is not my favorite baseball game. It's kind of an odd one. I didn't feel it was the best of the series. It's probably one of my least favorite on this collection. But part of it is just I've played many other baseball games, prefer other baseball games, and I wasn't too good at this. Maybe if I play it more. Do you remember growing up and playing this? Subterranea, really cool kind of R-type style side-scrolling shooter. You have shields, you know, really nice colorful enemies and graphics. And there's even a bonus stage, pretty sweet. You can take out this boss, and then you progress to the next stage. Pretty awesome. Really enjoyed this one, and didn't grow up playing this either. You know, there was thousands of games on the C64, so there's many games that, you know, people didn't play. Here's a very popular game, Summer Games, and, you know, this is a collection of awesome games that really kind of put the C64 on the map for what it was capable of. Now, the Versus does use a virtual keyboard to play these games. I had no problems using it to activate games. I felt the emulation was well done. Didn't have any hiccups of what I played, so that's important. Really nice to see that. And the Movie Monster game, first time playing it, really cool. Kind of reminds me of a Rampage style game. I don't know what came first. I do believe they both came out in '86. So yeah, moving a monster around, at least this scene, and you have an action bar trying to take out, you know, buildings. Pretty sweet. I need to play this one more. Many of these games, this was the first time playing these, Winter Games, definitely one that I've played before on various other platforms as well. And just awesome, great animation, just a timeless classic. You know, when I think of summer games and winter games, I definitely think of the Commodore 64. Several events, well done. What is your favorite in the comments below? Definitely show and tell your Commodore 64 experiences, favorite games. Alright, secret game, Gribbly Grobbly. And another game not too familiar with. You put in the code, which you use the C64 card to spell out. And kind of a unique little side-scrolling platformer. And pretty unique. Well done graphics. You're navigating around these levels, avoiding these bubbles or whatever you call that. I love classics because you can use your imagination on what you're facing. All right, the next cart is very, very different. It's a 2-pack, Alwa's Awakening, and it includes Cathedral as well, and that's the first native port to the Evercade. Very cool that they're getting their original built from the ground up port of Cathedral. Amazing game. I shared this on my channel, the Switch copy from Premium Edition Games, and so just a fantastic game. I'm just going to share a little bit of footage, but Alwa's Awakening is a great 8-bit style game. The 8-bit version has some additional levels, and I do believe sound. The manual does a great job of really detailing everything in these games, full color, for affordable price too. You know, that $20, $20-$25, depending on where you get it, price point. This is fantastic. You know, so many people that watch my channel love the physical releases. Well, here you go, and affordable, a 2-pack of games, quality games that you're going to appreciate, and just really adding more value to the Evercade lineup. And you know, there's a new handheld that I'm going to be covering on my channel as soon as I can, the Evercade EXP. But these cartridges work on the original handheld release or the Versus, which I'm capturing footage from for this video. Really like the Versus, by the way. An affordable retro gaming device, 4-player support. Here's Cathedral. This is, as I mentioned before, a native port and built from the ground up of this game. Fantastic, just plays super smooth. A great experience if you haven't checked it out. Kind of plays a little bit like a Metroidvania, exploring levels and areas. And you know, thank you so much. Just wanted to share briefly what these game collections look like. If you haven't already, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading content every week. Make sure to check out my other Evercade videos. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is Immortal John Hancock, and you have a great day. Blaze Entertainment sent me the new Evercade EXP, and I'm here to cover this. I've covered all their other products. This is the 3rd version of their hardware that they have offered. Evercade, if you don't know, offers a series of multi-carts, over 300 games spanning 35 plus multi-carts, and I want to share an unboxing and go over some of the features. The box is fairly small. It's actually smaller than the previous Evercade box, and I want to show what's included. It does come with an IREM multi-cart with 6 games, some iconic arcade classics included, and I'm going to be doing my best to share some of the features, give you my thoughts about this. And here it is. It's definitely a better design than the original handheld. It's got a really nice feel to it, and it does come with a couple extra features. That big feature included extra trigger buttons in tape mode, and there's 21 games so far that offer that, and I'm gonna share my experience with that. It comes with USB-C port, where it's a much better input than the micro USB. Here it's compared to the original handheld, and definitely has a nice feel to it. Definitely has that quality. It is 150 bucks. 150 bucks and comes with 18 included Capcom arcade games pre-installed. There's no physical cart. I know some people will be disappointed with that. It does come with a mini HDMI input, and so you can capture this with ease. Here's the book about the Capcom arcade games included. Some heavy hitters there, by the way, including some home console releases: Mega Man, Mega Man 2, Mega Man X, and Breath of Fire. And so that's pretty interesting and cool that they offer that. There is built-in save feature, so that's another great feature about this. There's some simple screen filter options. I'm going to show a little bit of that, but just wanted to do a quick unboxing and really dive into what makes this better than the previous releases. And so there's a lot going on with this. Here's a simple comparison spec wise from the original handheld. I know some of you out there want to know this, and this is it. The big thing is extra trigger buttons and Tate mode, a little bit faster processor, better IPS screen. Here's the comparison size wise to a Switch OLED and the original Evercade handheld. And so it's right in the middle. It's probably maybe a little bit longer than a Switch Lite, and so I don't have a Switch Lite on me, but that'd be another like close comparison. It looks like it's a little bit wider or longer than a Switch Lite. And here it is compared to the original screen. The IPS screen in person, it's not doing the best job showing this on camera, but the screen is a lot better. And so if you have an original Evercade handheld, great. That came out about 2.5 years ago, and I personally like it. This is definitely an upgrade screen wise, a better viewing angle, and just found myself at things looking a lot better on the new Evercade EXP. All right, so using a mini HDMI cable, I was able to hook it up and show you some captured footage. 720p, by the way, for people interested on what it can output. And firmware did not need to be updated yet. This is the firmware I'm running. It's important to show that because, well, I'm sure there's going to be updates moving forward. There's some hidden games, 0 out of 5 games unlocked. I didn't reach out and ask Blaze about that. Pretty sweet. So definitely in the comments below, if you find the hidden games, do a spoiler alert, but definitely I'm curious about that. So the 18 games included from Capcom are some awesome ones, some quality releases from their arcade hits of yesteryear. And I'm going to show a couple in Tate mode a little bit later, and some of my favorites. And I'm definitely curious about some of the hidden games and wonder, what else there is. This is Captain Commando, a great brawler, and one that, I haven't played a ton of, but, I know that there's fans out there, and, this just looks great. There's screen filter options. You can stretch the screen. You can have side artwork on the sides. You can do some scan lines, 2 different options for scan lines, and so it's very customizable for how you want to display your games. And again, I think this is a great option for people that they want to play on their TV screen, or if they want to go on the go or have limited space. This is definitely an option. Ghouls and Ghosts, one of my favorite games Capcom has done. I'm a huge fan of this game. I've beaten it. I love the Sega Genesis version, and it looks and plays great. The control pad is actually very, very, very well done. I like what they've done with the Evercade setup. I think the control pad is definitely improved from the original handheld, and that's good news. It's going to get some heavy use, especially these games. And so Mega Man X here, I know that for a lot of people, that people are going to be really happy noticing that this game is being released. And so it's really cool that they worked out a deal with Capcom to offer lots of their digital releases on the Evercade EXP. I know that some people are going to want that physical release, but still 18 classics here from yesteryear, including some home console ones. I think that's pretty awesome that they offered these, and I know that there's going to be several people really excited about playing these, and as well as the save features and stuff, and I think that's just awesome. Well, let's look at this for the priority purpose, and that's handheld mode, and it looks and plays great. I was impressed with how it looked on the screen playing Strider here. Again, the control on the initial layout of the standard control setup is great. I think this is the strength of the Evercade EXP, and you know, for a lot of people, are going to be really excited about playing some of these. Now let's talk about tape mode. Evercade EXP offers a tape mode. There's a button at the bottom of the handheld. You click it, and then you can adjust the screen where you can play games with the proper aspect ratio from the arcade in this mode here. Now, overall, fully functional, yes. I do have a minor gripe and a couple things. The buttons are fairly small, as you can see here on the screen. I have fairly large hands, and so I don't know how comfortable this would be playing long term. I think quick, bite-sized gaming experiences, it's going to be fine. And I think there's going to be a lot of people out there going to love playing tape mode like this. And so it just wasn't fully comfortable for me. The buttons are fairly small and close together too. And so I just found myself, it's not fully comfortable playing it this way for me personally. I don't have necessarily an issue with it. I'm not necessarily just a die-hard tape mode person. I think it's really cool that they're offering it as a bonus feature. Now there's 21 games spread across several arcade carts that offer tape mode, and here's the newest arcade release that comes bundled with the Evercade EXP, and it's Irem, and this has 6 arcade classics, and there's some great ones in here. I can't wait to show you. Now the coolest thing about Evercade Multicarts is they're 20 bucks. They offer a full color manual. They give you some information and control details about each game. Really cool and informative. They give you typically a backstory of games or backstory of the company. And there's some games on this that I really don't have a lot of experience playing. So it's really neat to play some fairly obscure arcade games with some iconic classics. And here's the cart. And I wanted to show a cart being put into the new Evercade EXP, and fits nice and snug, perfect, not too loose, not too tight. Here we go. Even though there's only 6 games on here, it's a pretty excellent multi-cart. I know a lot of people are going to be excited. In the Hunt being probably top of the list for some people. This is just a fantastic shooter, side-scrolling shooter. Just amazing artwork and excellent graphics. Really love the animations as well, and just really cool to see. Battle Chopper is one I'm not too familiar with. Pretty awesome though, and looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to check this one out. Definitely want to play this one more and look forward to experiencing it. Looks like it's got some cool power-ups and, like, you know, secrets and stuff. So awesome to see that. This next one is one that I actually don't have a lot of experience playing the arcade version, and that's 10 Yard Fight. And I know that there's some people who grew up with this iconic sports game. There's another one, Lightning Swords. Another one I'm not too familiar with, but looks a lot of fun. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Ninja Spirit, maybe mixed with some legendary acts. But yeah, no, it's cool. Definitely want to experience this one more, and one that I don't have a lot of experience ever even knowing about it. Moon Patrol, I forgot that they did Moon Patrol, so really nice to see it on here, as you know, that's such an iconic classic arcade game from, you know, the early days. For sure, lots of people. Now, my personal favorite on here is R-Type. I'm a big R-Type fan. I'm never really good at this game. You know, it's very, very difficult, but it is just so well done. Music and the gameplay. There was so many great ports of this as well. But, you know, going back to the original, playing the arcade original on here, and it's pretty sweet. And it plays great, like I said, just difficult as ever. Now, here's Toplan, and this one, to me, between the two newer multi-cart releases, this is the one to get, for sure. And, you know, this is everything you would want. Now, you have to like classic shooters, but holy cow, there's some huge, awesome releases on this. Eight games. And definitely there's going to be some on here that you are going to love. Now, it comes with a cool fold-out poster, kind of a collect them all. It shows all the Evercade multi-carts and the numbers. Awesome, with a poster on the other side. I just love that. For 20 bucks, you know, they're offering these multi-carts. Yeah, it's cool that it comes with a full-color manual. You know, you buy a new modern game on a modern console, you don't get this, especially for 20 bucks, so it's pretty sweet. I think this is one of the better multi-carts to have been released. As you can see here, many iconic classics, many you can do in tape mode, so if that's your thing, this is definitely set up to be played on the Evercade EXP. And so, yeah, Fire Shark, just another amazing release, and this is one that I played in the arcades back in the day, and just tough as nails. All these are fairly difficult, but yeah, I think you're going to be very pleased with this. Guardian, not too familiar with this one. This one's kind of a weird kind of side scroller where you're navigating different planets, and you have like a ability to punch and kick. But Snow Brothers, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. If you haven't played Snow Brothers, it plays a little bit like Bubble Bobble, but just fantastic and just amazing. By itself, you know, it'd be worth 20 bucks. But, you know, on here with other amazing arcade releases, you know, very, very impressed. Now, this is a puzzle game, Techie Packy. I'm probably saying it wrong, that's okay. But I didn't know what I thought of this. I need to play it more and understand the mechanics a little bit. But I do like myself some puzzle games, so want to play that more. Tiger Heli, played a lot of the NES release, and here is the arcade version, as this was you know, very popular in the arcades back in the day. So another fairly challenging vertical shooter. And, you know, definitely one to play in tape mode if that's your thing. But yeah, overall, I was really impressed. Truxton, just another solid release and offering on here. And so, overall, what do I think of the Evercade EXP and the new releases? Solid. Solid. This is definitely for retro gaming. You know, Blaze Entertainment is really doing a good job at supporting their products and offering a multitude of game options and ways to play. Between the Evercade Versus and now the Evercade EXP, they have retro gaming covered at an affordable price. You know, the new handheld is 150 bucks, does come with IRAM multi-cart, as well as the built-in included Capcom digital releases, 18. And so I think you're going to get a solid retro gaming experience, and it gets my thumbs up. I want to thank everybody for coming to my channel. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is Immortal John Hancock, and you take care. I am happy to share with you a new multi-cart, Indie Heroes 2 for the Evercade systems, EXP original handheld or Versus. I have covered all of these on my channel, and the link will be below to the playlist where I cover other products from Evercade, and really excited to show you this as I have a personal connection to a game series in this series of independent games that are on this multi-cart. There it is, Cowlitz Gamers Adventure Trilogy. Pretty awesome to see that. Here we go. The game multi-cart does include 12 unique independent games. Actually, I'm going to say 16. There 2 are trilogies. And as you can see here, there's a wide variety of games and game types. I'm going to be going over each game and showing you sample footage. 20 bucks, and you can get this on Amazon. First up is Anguna, and this is an open world action RPG. It's got a map, it's got an inventory. Very, very sweet little game here, and this is just a fantastic compilation of some independent games. Well done too. This is one of the better ones, as I found myself not wanting to put the controller down, as I was really enjoying what I was playing. Boss fights and different areas to explore and equipment to get. Very sweet to see this, as this is a perfect fit. Next up, from seconddimension.com, is Beer Slinger, and I've worked with this company to help me make my own game, Block'em Sock'em, and this is a great little game, kind of an homage to Tapper with the NES kind of style to it. It's got digitized voice, pretty sweet to see that, and it's a fun little game where you're trying to get through a week of working, serving drinks to customers. Next up brings a lot of happy emotion to me, and that's a Callous Gamers Adventure Trilogy. And these are puzzle platforms, lots to discover there. The first one has some screen options where you can choose how you want to play it. This looks like an old school Game Boy, but you even have some other screen filters make it look like Virtual Boy, even classic NES. And so this really was the beginning groundwork that laid the foundation for the amazing Callous Gamers second adventure, where it's co-op, where you can play as either one of my kids, Justice or Kaylee. Fantastic. And so this is just an amazing puzzle platformer that's become popular with some speedrunners, as well as 50 screens, and it's well worth getting to the end, especially co-op, to see a special ending. Very sweet to see this. Well done. One of my favorite aftermarket NES games because of the personal connection. Fantastic music, and just a huge thanks to all that were involved. And then next up is a Callous Gamers Lost Adventure, which was included on a Multicart Action 53, I do believe. And this is additional levels. Very difficult, but so sweet to see this. All 3 games on Indie Heroes 2. I can't believe that, with the price of just 20 bucks for this entire multi-cart. It's such great value, and this one to me is very near and dear to my heart. Next up is Ira the Crow Maiden from Second Dimension, and really sweet to see this on here as the levels are long. This is a fun platformer where you're going around rescuing people as well as avoiding enemies, and I love the graphics, and it's got great animation. And so, these are the ways of experiencing these games the cheapest way possible on a physical multi-cart. And this is a perfect fit for the Evercade. Next is Gelatinous Humanity Lost, and this is a side-scrolling kind of open area platformer where you're gaining different abilities. You're going around trying to discover things. You start off fairly weak. You're only able to kind of stick to walls. Eventually you'll get other abilities. Awesome little platformer. I want to play this more. Next you have Lunar Journey from Green Boy Games, and this is a fun little adventure game where you're trying to find minerals on the moon, and you have oxygen levels, and there's just some neat things put into this game. It was pretty funny, and really enjoyed what I played so far, as it's a pretty cool premise, and found myself not wanting to put the controller down, as there's just some neat things included in this game, and you have to figure things out and solve some puzzles. Next up is Nessie the Robot, and this is a fun little platformer. Really enjoyed this one. Colorful graphics, great music, boss fights, kind of a cross between a Mario game and Mega Man. While some of the platform mechanics are difficult, it's nice that you can replay a level over and over again, and a perfect fit for this indie multi-cart, and look forward to beating this one eventually. Up next is Nyx the Paradox Relic, and this is an action-adventure game. And I haven't heard a lot about this one, It looks pretty neat as there's multiple screens, and it definitely has a little bit of that Metroid vibe where you're going around trying to find items, and it's kind of a open exploratory game, and nice to see it. And you know, this is something definitely, if you're into these types of games, you may want to check out, as this has a lot of gameplay to offer. Next up is Recnum Souls Adventure Evercade Edition. And this is it starts off as a top-down action RPG, but then it goes to a side-scrolling here where you can talk to NPCs and get equipment and power-ups. This one definitely is reminiscent of like a Zelda game, but definitely one that's going to have an appeal to fans that like that genre. Yeah, really neat. Really don't know a lot about it, but definitely want to explore it more. And the next one I do know a lot about, and that's Tapeworm Disco Puzzle from Low Tech Games. This is even on the Playdate, but here you go. Here's the NES version, and wow, absolutely fantastic. It's got a 2-player simultaneous mode. Lots to enjoy here. Fantastic animation, music, and sound. This company was also behind the amazing Flea, which is a favorite of mine as well. The other trilogy is the Grunio Zerka trilogy. Hopefully I'm saying that all right. And the first one is a simple vegetables are falling from the sky, carrots, and then you have to change your animal to the color matching. Pretty simple, gets pretty intense very fast. You do have up to 3 tries, and then the game is over. The next one is a side scroller where you have to use different items. This one is more complex, and definitely can see people really getting into this. This is definitely for puzzle fans and games where you have to figure things out. There's no time limit, which is great, and I found myself really compelled to try to figure out each room to advance to the next level. And so to round it out, there's the third one, as this one is different than the previous 2, kind of top down. You can only touch platforms so many times before they break and you fall to your death. So nice to see the diversity of puzzles in between these 3 games, and I know there's going to be people that will enjoy this, as I am a puzzle fan. Finally, and last and not least, is Yeah Yeah Beavis 2 from my good friend John Riggs, and 1 or 2 players simultaneous. This is a fun game. It's kind of a made-up game that never came out, and he programmed it with some other people. Nice to see this one. A fun little action game, one that's great to play with kids. I want to thank everybody for coming to my channel. And what was your favorite game that you saw today on this awesome indie collection? In the comments below, let me know. And thank you as always for coming to my channel. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you have a good day. The Immortal John Hancock here, and I'm happy today to be sharing with you the 4 newest Evercade multi-carts. I've been covering Evercade on my channel, and I've covered the majority of everything that's been released, including hardware. And wow, I am just blown away by the ongoing support and the ongoing multi-carts that are coming out all the time. And in today's video, there's a little bit of mix of new console, arcade, and classic computer multi-carts. There is a game for everybody. Over 40 new games are on these 4 multi-carts. I'm going to be sharing a lot of them. So sit back, relax. Here we go. Evercade offers both a handheld and console option currently on the market. You do need to update your Evercade hardware, whatever you're playing, even the original, to play Team 17 Collection 1. And these are the Amiga versions. Super awesome to see this collection of games. All these carts, by the way, that I'm showing are 20 bucks retail price. Awesome to see such affordable gaming. And so look at that list there. Awesome of Team 17's backlog. You have all-terrain racing. This is kind of a RC Pro-Am style racing game. I enjoy this one. Pretty difficult, but I really like the graphics, as well as, you know, you can upgrade, and there's some different play modes to check out on this classic racer top down. Next up, you have the third Alien Breed game, Tower Assault. Multiple ways of clearing a stage. I really enjoyed this one as I didn't have a lot of experience playing this Alien Breed back in the day. Nice to go back and revisit it. Great control as well as great graphics. Body Blows was the first of a trilogy of fighting games that Team 17 did, and this kind of reminds me of an early Neo Geo fighting game. Lots of different moves and characters, and you may want to check it out, as fighting was all the craze in the 90s, and many companies were trying to do their best making one. Full Contact was Team 17's first game, and this one I really enjoy. It kind of has the Year Kung Fu kind of take on it, and it's pretty sweet. You can update your character in between stages. Pretty challenging, but of all the ones on this collection, I definitely want to come back to that. Project X kind of reminds me of a Gradius style side-scrolling shooter. Pretty difficult from what I've played so far, but it had some pretty nice graphics, and you know, for classic shooter fans, you may want to check it out. Next, you got the third installment of Pico Collection 3. These are 20 bucks, by the way, and both these carts I'm showing at the start are available at the end of the month. For 20 bucks, you can check out the link that I have below. But here you go. Here's the collection of games. By the way, Legend of Wukong was a game that I showed for the Midwest Gaming Classic. You can check out gameplay there. Zero Tolerance, one of my favorite Genesis third-person shooters, as well as some unreleased games such as Radical Bikers. So I'm going to jump right in. And you have 40 Winks. This is the PlayStation version, though Pico Interactive did release and offer the N64 unreleased version as well. But it's a cool platformer. Kind of gets compared to Banjo-Kazooie a little bit. Smaller areas, but lots to explore and collect. And well done. So if you're into these kind of 3D style platformers of the era, you may want to check it out. Metal Mech is definitely an unrefined Blaster Master style game. It is a little bit clunky at times, but it's perfect for a collection like this. Maybe a game on the NES that you didn't check out. I did rent this back in the day and did enjoy it. Never beat it. Huge levels, and your mech can be destroyed, so you have to be careful, but otherwise enjoyable. Punch King Arcade Boxing, and this is kind of a Punch-Out style, arcade style sports game, and one I never checked out when it was released in the early 2000s, but you may want to check it out, as I found it enjoyable and one that is worth going back and checking out. And then there have games such as Radical Bikers, and this is an 8-bit port of the arcade game, and I enjoyed what they've done here. It's pretty fun. Kind of has some catchy music, and you know, far from the arcade counterpart, but it's its own style game, and I enjoy that. I love these kind of demakes, and might want to check that one out. Zero Tolerance, though, one of my favorites on this collection, and you know, this was just an iconic Sega Genesis game that often gets overlooked. Fairly cheap still, but lots to explore and check out, and well done, showing the capabilities of the Sega Genesis. Arcade fans rejoice because Toplan Arcade 2 is fantastic, especially if you like classic shooters. There's only 7 games on here, but pretty much some of the best that Toplan did, as there's a few on here I remember going to the arcades and playing. There's also a bonus game, and I'm going to show you that at the end. Demon's World is a game. I'm not too familiar with this one, but I know that a lot of people enjoy this one. 2-player as well. So it has a lot of fun side-scrolling action kind of platformer aspect to it, but an arcade game. And so Hellfire, I know, is one that people remember. Tough as nails, side-scrolling shooter. I did play the Genesis one and don't have as much experience playing the arcade version, though I have seen it before. But yeah, I like the different strategies of choosing the different directions of fire as well as the power-ups. But let's talk about tape mode in the Evercade EXP. Twin Cobra, another, probably one of the more popular ones on this collection. and it plays great on the Evercade EXB, especially if you're a fan of Tate mode, where you can play it with the perfect aspect ratio. You also have Twin Hawk, and these are the arcade versions. It's so nice that Evercade is offering an arcade collection, as many people remember playing these in the arcades. As you know, they had better graphics in the arcades. They were perfect. All right, so the bonus game, Twin Hawk, is if you have Toplan 1 and 2 collections in your Evercade versus console, you can play the Sega Genesis version of Twin Hawk. By the way, kind of a fun fact, there's a lot of the same people that worked on the arcade version of this game worked on the Sega Genesis one, and it's good. The C64 Collection 2 picks up where the other one left off, and there are several iconic Commodore 64 classics here, and you're going to be very satisfied, I do believe, with the picks. California Games, World Games, Pit Stop 2, oh my goodness. These are many games I played, sort of Fargoal, Iridium, and some others that I haven't checked out. So California Games is one that I typically played a lot more on my Atari Lynx back in the day, but it's nice to see the C64 version here, as I know many people grew up with this game collection. I do like on California Games that you can practice individual events, as some of these are pretty challenging, but it just takes practice and you can get better at it. Cybernoid, another iconic classic game that many people talk about to this day, and it's just well done here. These are the types of games I'm really glad that the Commodore 64 had so many games, so it's nice that they've kind of like curated a nice collection of some of the better games. Firelord, this is a game I have not played and not too familiar with, but definitely is interesting checking it out. Exploratory, kind of some adventure and RPG mechanics to it. Really enjoy these types of games, as it takes me back to my childhood playing at my friend's house who had a Commodore 64. Pit Stop 2, I know this is another popular title, as it was a classic racing game, and I know many people, this was one of the first racing games that they experienced growing up, and it's well done here. This collection for Commodore is pretty good. Sort of Fargoal, a roguelike for the VIC-20 and C64 and iOS, but wow, I played this quite a bit, and it's just stunning, and I highly recommend going back and checking this out. Now, there is a bonus game. If you put the C64 Collection 1 and 2 into your Evercade Versus, you get Gyroscope. And, I don't have a lot of experience with this one, but it definitely has that kind of Marble Madness kind of feel to it. And it was probably inspired by that. But, man, it's great to see bonus games. I mean, no other console is doing that. So cool that Blaze Entertainment is offering these bonus games, as for me, it's a motivator to collect them all. So, the new games on these multi-carts, what is your favorite? In the comments below, let me know. And as always, thank you for coming to my channel. I do a wide variety of coverage, everything from Atari to Xbox, a little bit of retro, a little bit of modern, and a whole bunch of fun. And so, I enjoy these types of products because it really is kind of the perfect mix of a new product and collectible, but still very playable, and there's a wide variety of games of the Evercade multi-cart system and handheld. And so whatever you pick, you are going to have a treat. Link below for some hardware and games if you're interested. And if you're new to my channel and you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you have a good day. I got the latest Evercade multi-carts for the home and handheld system, and I'm really excited about sharing these with you. That's right, 23 new games on the latest 4 multi-carts, with many more coming. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to show you each game and each multi-cart, so sit back, relax, here we go. What's cool about Evercade releases, they come with a full color manual, and at that $20 price point, this is going to be available at the end of the month. It includes 6 classics from Sunsoft. You have Blaster Master, which is one I rented quite a bit for the original NES. Nice to see it here. and looks and plays great. Has that, overworld, this Metrovania. You can go explore on foot as well in these special areas, boss fights. Then you have Blaster Master Boy, which is actually a sequel to Robo Warrior, kind of a Bomberman style gameplay. This one I didn't play that much back in the day, and it's nice to include it here because these are a lot of releases that maybe people overlook or weren't old enough to play back in the day. And I think it's a great collection altogether. Then you have Arrow the Acrobat. I do believe this is a Super Nintendo version. I wish that they would detail which version it was in the manual, but you know what? It's here. This is kind of an overlooked platformer. Not too bad. Above average. Not my favorite, but included in a collection such as this, it's a perfect fit. And I think, Arrow the Acrobat was, Sunsoft's iconic mascot. Then you had Arabian, which is kind of a forgotten puzzle platformer. And you know what? I saw and I remember playing this a lot on pirated Multicarts back in the day. But nice to see it here. It was fun, just a simple title. Then you had Journey to Silius, and this is a game I think many people revere as like a hidden gem for original NES. Really, really cool theme, as well as iconic boss fights. I think of all included on here, this is one of the more fond memories that people are going to have. And then you have Mr. Gimmick, which is a super expensive, never released in the US back in the day. There was a remaster version, or an updated version, just released this summer for modern platforms, but the original is here, and this looks fantastic and rounds out an excellent package for Sunsoft. Next up is a collection from Delphine Software, and this includes some heavy hitters. Another World and Flashback are probably the ones that many people remember, but it also includes some fairly obscure outside of Amiga fans, Future Wars and Operation Stealth. And I think this is a good collection, mostly because a lot of people are going to remember Another World as it's iconic, and it's the Amiga version. And it's cool that, at least they identify in this bundle which version it is. Blaze Entertainment doesn't do that necessarily in other collections. I don't know why, but at least it's clear these are the Amiga versions, and then there's Flashback. And so, these are iconic classics, and just those two alone are well worth the price point of $20. Includes a poster, full color manual. These are iconic games, and they look and play great. I know there's many people that grew up with these, and it put them on the map. Then you have obscure ones, Future Wars. This is a point-and-click adventure game. I don't have any experience with this game. I looked it up. These are early releases for Delphine Software, and so you might remember these. I don't. And then there's Operation Stealth. These were, again, releases that I wasn't too familiar with, but if you like those point-and-click adventure games, you might like these and enjoy these. I had zero experience with these, just checking them out. You have to move around, you have to interact with backgrounds and discover things. I know Amiga fans will probably rejoice that these are included. Next up is the Sydney Hunter collection. You might have missed this. This is available now and includes 4 games, Jester, and 3 different Sydney Hunter games from different platforms. First up is Jester, and this is like a maze role-playing game, kind of adventure style. You collect items and you go around, you uncover secrets, getting different items, giving you points as well as different abilities. I enjoyed this one, found myself kind of attracted to it, really like what they've done here, and I'm glad it's included. Next is Sydney Hunter and the Caverns of Death. This is the Super Nintendo version of this game. I know there's several Sydney Hunter games out there, and this one is well done. Looks really, really polished. I do believe Alec Mall was the developer, and I have some experience with them as well. Really excited about seeing this. And then Sydney Hunter and the Sacred Tribe. This is a Sega Master System version. It was really difficult to get on physical, had a very limited release. So seeing this version of Sydney Hunter, this exploratory adventure game, really well done, and excellent music for the Master System as well. So nice to see this version included. And finally, to wrap it up, is Sydney Hunter and the Shrines of Peril. I do believe this was made for the Intellivision. It looks like Intellivision graphic style. This is a more simple version of Sydney Hunter, obviously for a console made in the 70s, but I am glad it's included with this. Then you have probably the most eclectic collection I've seen on the Evercade. It's the Pico Arcade 1, and Pico Interactive is offering 9. That's right, 9 different arcade games. Many you probably never heard of. Some are rip-offs of other classic arcade games, and others are kind of more interesting and unique. The first one of the more unique ones, is Burglar X. It's got a unique graphic style. You're going around collecting items and money, and you toot on people to leave, to escape. It kind of reminds me of a combination of a couple different classic arcade games, but enjoyed this one. Next one is Diver Boy, and this one's okay. You know, you go around, you're collecting underwater pearls and oysters, avoiding fish, and so this one's okay. Gameplay style is all right. Not my favorite of the collection. There's just some weird, unique games on this collection. And next up, you have Dragon Master. This definitely took inspiration from the Street Fighter II series, and it was released by Unico back in the day, a Korean company. One of 2 fighting games included with this 9-game bundle. Then you have weird stuff like Fancy World. Kind of reminds me of a Snow Brothers style gameplay style. Very cute items to collect. If you like those types of games, you know, this one's alright. 2-player action as well. That's kind of nice. And there's another game a little bit like it where you play, that's right, a punching duck. And this is called Magic Purple. And you know what? Colorful graphics definitely reminds me of, you know, that very colorful 90s style, cutesy. There were several games made in this genre back then, and I don't know what happened to this type of game. You know, definitely was an era in arcades. And then you have the other fighting game, Master's Fury, which is a combination of like Street Fighter II and Fatal Fury. I like this fighting game better. It plays a little bit better, I think. Definitely is going to remind you some other 16-bit fighting games of the time. Wrap up this package, you have Steel Force, which is like a top-down action game with boss fights. Really like this one. I haven't played many games like this. I know Amiga had a couple releases like this. But you know what? For arcade game, pretty cool. Nice to see this included. And then next up, you had Legend of Silk Road, which is a brawler. And this was another surprise. I actually enjoyed this one. Graphic style, okay. I'd rather would have sprite based, but you know what? It's cool. It's got magic, special abilities, items to collect. You know, for 2-player fun, definitely worth checking out. And then finally, the oddity would be Ultimate Tennis. Why? Because everybody else was making a sports tennis game back in the day, and here it is. So that includes all 9 games as well as all the releases for Evercade that have came out, the last 4 releases. There you go. Evercade also has 6 additional multi-carts coming this year, so stay tuned. I'm going to be covering them on my channel as well as the upcoming $60 Super Pocket. That's right, they're offering 2 flavors of that, one Capcom and one Taito, and it's going to be awesome. And you can pre-order these things, and the links will be below, affiliate links. Thank you so much for viewing this. What was your favorite game that I showed today? In the comments, let me know. And thank you for the ongoing support. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care. Blaze Entertainment sent me their latest, and this is the Hyper Megatech Super Pocket, both Capcom and Taito editions. I'm going to show you. Here's the box. This is a $60 handheld that is compatible with Evercade cartridges. That's the biggest feature that I think is excellent, as this is a budget option for people that want to jump in
to play Evercade games and multi-carts. Over 500 games available on several multi-carts. You can get these on Amazon as well as other places, as well as Rondo products. There's a headphone jack, there's save states, as well as an easy mode where you can select that if you want to just play an arcade game. It comes with a USB-C charging cable, no brick, and battery lasts about 4 hours. I didn't test the battery. It comes with a cartridge slot holder where you take out, and that's where you put your Evercade cartridges. Kind of a cool thing that they offer that. The EXP doesn't have that. So here it is. Control pad feels okay. 4 front buttons, action buttons, select and start with shoulder buttons in the back. And here's comparable to a Game Boy Pocket. And so wanted to show that this is a cool feature that it's this size. It's very different than the Evercade EXP, which can't fit into a pocket. This is a budget stocking stuffer, and it's coming out at that sweet price point of $60. And so it doesn't have some of the other bells and whistles, no Wi-Fi, no Tate mode as the EXP has, but you are getting something that plays Evercade carts, and for many people that is going to be good enough. And at that price point of $60 with the screen, and the screen's features are 320 by 240 IPS screen. I'm showing it as best as I can here. Front facing speaker, and you can adjust the music. The music's on kind of mid-range, so I didn't adjust the volume or anything. I thought the speaker was okay. Average, not good, not bad, just in the middle of the road. But overall, I was impressed with the quality of the screen. I just took it out of the box and started playing. And so here's a selection of the games with the Capcom one, and I'll list this in the description below. You get 12 different games, mostly arcade, and with Mega Man, which Mega Man, popular franchise. With the control pad, I was able to pull off Street Fighter 2 moves. I'm not the best Street Fighter 2 player, but it was ample enough to do a fighting game. Many people would prefer a fighting stick for this game, but for the casual player, good enough. Playing Ghouls and Ghosts was excellent. It played great, and for a lot of people, this is the arcade version, by the way. So it's nice to see that. Many people grew up with the Sega Genesis version, or maybe a classic computer version. This is the arcade version, so it's nice to see that. As it might be people out there that haven't played this version. Pretty difficult. So that easy mode comes in handy, makes it a little bit more easier to play, and I like that feature. So yeah, so there's several classics on here, just included with it bundled in. So a lot of people would probably want these Capcom games on the cartridge. They're embedded into the system. Here's Mega Man, and you can change the aspect ratio and do scan lines if you wish. So the Mega Man the aspect ratio doesn't look right here, but you can adjust that in the settings. I didn't do that in this video, unfortunately. So overall, I think the features that it comes bundled with are good enough, and I think that for many people, they're going to be satisfied. Playing games, arcade classics such as Captain Commando, Final Fight's on here as well. I think that's plenty enough games for people to initiate them with what this handheld can do. And if they want to continue further, they can pick up additional multi-carts, several of them available for about $20 a piece for new prices. And so, yeah, overall, I was satisfied with the build quality. I am very aware that this is a budget handheld, and it doesn't feel cheap. It is a mid-range, $60 handheld, and I know there's cheaper handhelds on the market, and I know there's way more expensive handhelds. So here you go. This is how you insert a cartridge into the Super Pocket and turn it on with a button below on the handheld itself. And you have to go into the menu screen and then choose Evercade, and then it'll pop up and it'll show you the menu of games for the cartridge that you've inserted. So it doesn't automatically identify when you stick in a cartridge and it won't automatically go to it. So you have to go into a menu and choose Evercade. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, but it's not too bad of a deal. And here's some other screen options there, and the save and load. So you can save and load at any time. So I like that feature for people that want to pick up and play where they left off. Here's Mr. Gimmick, another very, very difficult but satisfying NES game. Really like this one. Colorful graphics. And here we go. Here's the other handheld. And say maybe you're not a Capcom fan and maybe you're a Taito fan. Well, Taito has its other option, Super Pocket, 18 different games. Very similar packaging. The links will be below, by the way, affiliate links, where you can pick these up on Amazon. And so I think this is a great option for people for the holidays coming up. This budget release. I think it's a great price, and something missing with the Evercade options. You know, the EXP is kind of expensive. It's over twice the price of this. Here are the list of the games that are included with the Taito one. 18 games. So maybe you grew up. It's got classics including Bubble Bobble, Space Invaders, Rastan. You know, you name it. The Taito classics are here. And, you know, the sound is okay. Like, I don't know if the sound is great. I don't know. It's slightly tinny, but you know what? For a budget handheld, I am okay with it. And so, there's no multiplayer features that I know of. So it's a lot like the original Evercade handheld. So that multiplayer option is not available yet, or it hasn't been announced. I don't know if they're working on it, but as we speak, there's no multiplayer options for these handhelds, and so no link cables or any of that. And so overall, I think it was a good selection of games for both of them. Going into a menu to activate a cartridge, that's a weird kind of additional step. I don't know why it doesn't default to the cartridge when you plug it in. There's no video out. I spoke with Blaze Entertainment, and they said due to the chipset that is not available. And so there you have it. 4 hours of battery life, and you got a budget Evercade option, which I think is needed. I'm glad that they offer this. I think it's going to satisfy many people. I think this is going to be a great stocking stuffer for the upcoming holidays, and a perfect option for people on a budget. They want to collect and still play games. And what do you think? Anyways, thank you for coming to my channel. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is Immortal John Hancock, and you take care. Duke Nukem is finally here for the Evercade, and here is the Collection 1, which includes Duke Nukem 1 and 2 fully remastered, rebuilt from the ground up for the Evercade. That has me excited, as I think I'm going to be a fan of those games more than anything else, but it also includes a version of Duke Nukem 3D Total Meltdown. I'm going to talk about that in a bit, and it talks about Duke Nukem. This is an important franchise. It came out, I think, the first one in 1991, and it was groundbreaking as, you know, an action platformer for DOS. And you know what? It's a little bit before my time. Playing the PC port, so playing this now, super excited, as I know this was a big, huge PC hit, and includes both Duke Nukem 1 and 2. And what's really cool is there's a mode where you can play the original releases. I think that's really important, that you can play this as it was back in the day. 3 episodes with the first Duke Nukem 1. And you know what? Here it is, and this is the remastered version, and it's pretty sweet. You know, you go around, you can collect multiple different items. It's kind of a collectathon. These types of games remind me of like a Turrican, which came out a year before. But you know what? You're going to have your favorites. Did you remember playing this back in the day? Let me know your experiences. I do believe it was shareware, and it was a huge hit. But yes, the remastered version looks and plays great. This is a reason to pick up this collection, I think, as you know what, it's just an awesome experience. And you know, these types of classic action platformers, you know, this is my jam. Also, you know, I know these have been ported to everything. I didn't know that they were ported to, I do believe, Game Boy Color, and that's something I need to check out. You know, I don't know if I've played many different versions of this game, but experiencing it here, the best version, I think, from what I hear, this is the way to experience it. I'm so happy that they did this. It's a perfect fit for the Evercade, and you know what? Really happy to see this. You have, you know, completion stats, all the hidden secrets, keys. Definitely really cool that you can go. There's lots of replayability, huge levels too. And so that's Duke Nukem 1. Duke Nukem 2 is 4 times as big. It's 4 episodes. It has a lot more color. It almost took 2 years to complete the original. Different difficulty settings, pretty funny. And if you like the original Duke Nukem, you're going to love this, as this is just a lot more to it. I'm pretty terrible at playing this game. I found that there's many things in the background that can damage you. Luckily, you have a health bar. I just need to play this one more. Again, another game that I didn't play too much back in the day. This came out originally in 1993, and another huge hit. And, you know, for me, my journey with Duke Nukem started with a 3D game. But you know what? You're going to have your own memories. Maybe this is new for you, but, you know, Duke Nukem was a huge franchise, made lots of money. And you know what? But I think the 2D originals get overlooked, and it's really nice that Evercade has these, and it's a remastered versions, but you can play the original releases just with a click of a button. I love when companies do that. Absolutely fantastic, and I think it's a strength of this collection. I think for sure Duke Nukem 1 and 2 is a reason to pick up this collection, as I think it's just it's a great fit and something. I'm capturing footage on the Evercade Versus, by the way, as I think that this probably will be best served on the Versus, as I know that multiplayer is an important feature of Duke Nukem. And you know what, I still think that 1 and 2 Remastered is the highlight of this collection. Now, then there's Duke Nukem 3D Total Meltdown, which is probably what many people grew up with. This is the PlayStation version of that. I do wish that it would do a better job at stating that in the manual. I've talked about that. I do believe it's a legality thing why they don't, but this is indeed the PlayStation version. They did tweak it. It's not just a one-to-one port, as the original release didn't run optimally, but they've gone back and they've tweaked some things to make it run more optimal on the Evercade load times. And so, you know, there's going to be people that might be disappointed with it being the PlayStation version, but you know what, I think it looks pretty good. There's lots of different control options. You can tweak the controls and make it run the way you want. But I know because this is a PC classic, there's going to be people that are going to wish it was the PC version. And, you know, having that option of control, you know, for many people is going to be an issue. But you know what? I think with 1 and 2 being remastered, that is definitely the strength of this collection. And you know what? When Duke Nukem went 3D, I know a lot of people, they grew up with this. And, you know, there's many people are connected to this game. Then you have the second collection, which includes Duke Nukem Advance, Duke Nukem Land of the Babes, and Duke Nukem Time to Kill. And so these are the 3 games that I probably have the least experience with. As you know, for me, I was playing other games or playing Doom. You know, for some people, you might have grown up with these. As you know what, Duke Nukem continued to have different offerings on different platforms. There was also, I do believe, 0 Hour on the N64. And so here it is. And so this is a second collection. And again, these have been tweaked ports, but it's important to note that the Land of the Babes and Time to Kill are the PlayStation versions of the game. I'm really excited about playing Duke Nukem Advance, as I've heard a lot of good things about it. Don't have a ton of experience. This was a Game Boy Advance game that came out in 2002, and even though it took assets artwork-wise from the original Duke Nukem, this is a totally new gaming experience. So new levels, And so pretty awesome. So if you're a big Duke Nukem fan and didn't play this version and didn't know about it, here it is. And so I think that's the strength of the Evercade, where it can take classics from previous consoles, both PC, console, handheld, and put them all on one platform. By the way, these games work on whatever Evercade hardware you're using. Works great on the new Super Pocket. That's a video I did. That new $60 hardware that plays Evercade cartridges. And so going back to this, you know, gosh, it's kind of weird. So this Duke, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's no aiming up and down in this version of Duke. I kept trying to do that with the controls. There is a jump in this Duke Nukem, but it's first person, so that might be something to get a little bit used to. You can't aim up or down, and so your crosshair just stays positioned forward. And so yeah, you know what, overall pretty nice experience. Definitely you know, a technical marvel for the Game Boy Advance. You know, and so going back and playing this, all these games are licensed, by the way, and both collections are $20, so it's very reasonably priced to pick up these. For sure, the Duke Nukem Collection 1 is my favorite, but having Collection 2 with Duke Nukem Advance, I think, is the strength of this collection. Duke Nukem Time to Kill was made for the PlayStation. Internally, when being made, it was nicknamed Duke Raider, as it has a lot of Tomb Raider similarities. This is a Duke Nukem game in third person, and for some people that's going to be a deal breaker. But you know, for me, not having a ton of experience with this game and going back, it's not bad. You know, for me, I'd rather play Duke Nukem probably first person. But actually, you know, the reviews of this original release weren't bad. It did sell enough to get a PlayStation Greatest Hits release. And you know what? I think for a lot of people, this is going to be a good game and well worth visiting. You know, it's nice to see the Evercade get, you know, 32-bit games. And you know what? Not bad. So of the third-person perspective games, Time to Kill is the better of the two versus Land of the Babes. To me, Land of the Babes just didn't cut it. There might be some people that remember playing this one. This one came out in 2000, and to me, it's just a little too clunky. There's a little bit too much Tomb Raider aspect of this. I'd rather play Tomb Raider. But, you know, going back, I'm glad it's included here. I would have loved to see 0 Hour as well, the N64 release. I'm sure there was licensing issues why that wasn't included. Land of the Babes only has 16 levels, and so it's a little bit shorter, I do believe, than Time to Kill. But here it is. You know, for people that want to experience it, here you go. And for $20, having a collection of 3 games, not bad. I think the first collection's better, and that's the one I recommend. And thank you for watching this video. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care. Today I'm showing the rest of Evercade's releases for the year, and first up is Full Void. I cover many Evercade products. In fact, I've covered all of them on my channel, and in the description you can see a playlist link where you can check out the many other products Evercade offers. And so Full Void is offered in 2 different packages, the standard release as well as the special edition. And it still comes, the standard release comes with a full color manual, and you know, it's $20. Now the special edition does cost a lot more, and it comes with different packaging. It comes with a fold out poster and a art book. Here's a fold out poster. Full Void, I do believe, is the first Evercade cart that's a single game on a cart. But it is a pretty fantastic game, and it's nice that they're offering this. Okay, and it comes with an art book. Art book is really nice for people that want something collectible. This might be an option for people out there. Otherwise, get the standard release. The special edition does come with a nice blue cartridge and some additional stickers. So there are some additional things. Difference. It's all cosmetic though. The actual game is the same. I want to mention that. So here you go. And so for people out there that love collecting Evercade, that might be something you want to pursue. And so a really nice game. And so I'm gonna jump in and show you part of the game as well as the other releases. So sit back, relax. Here we go. So here it is, Full Void, and this is a cinematic puzzle platformer and absolutely fantastic. Also on Steam, Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, but it is a nice fit for the Evercade. I really like them offering these releases. And so having it on physical is fantastic, and I really like what this game is doing. It sets up an excellent environment, many ways to die. It takes me back to other 90s style games like this. And you know what? They really did their homework and have captured a fantastic essence to make a wonderful game. I do think it's worth, it is a single game on a cart, and I know some people are going to have some thoughts about that. I think it's worth it, especially that $20 price point for the base game. But man, it's so beautiful, well done music as well. I highly recommend checking this game out if you're a fan of these types of games. Evercade is offering and continuing their computer line, and this is Home Computer Heroes Collection 1, and this is a really nice assortment of some classic computer games. Not all the games are my favorites, but man, I love the packaging, and I really like what they offer in this $20 package. Giant Software offers a Steam key for Farming Simulator 17. That's amazing. It's not my type of game typically, but I think my son's going to enjoy playing that. Awesome that they offer a free Steam key. A comic book, as well as a full color manual talking about each of the programmers as well as the games. And you know what? If you're a big fan of classic computer games, especially aftermarket games, you're going to love this. And it goes into detail about each game. Here we go, jumping into Bridge Strike. And Bridge Strike is kind of an homage to River Raid, and I do believe this is a classic Amiga edition. And you know what? I like this game. I like this. It looks great. Music is excellent. I like the gameplay style, and you can kind of maneuver your bullets just like the original 2600 release, and so that's an awesome gameplay mechanic. Anyways, enjoy this game. Next up is Citadel Remonstered, and this is actually a upgraded version of one of the first 3D games made for the Amiga, done by one of the original programmers, as well as, I really think this is a fantastic offering on this cartridge. One of my favorite, actually. Really like what's done here. Just so well done. Lots of different options too and how to play it. Fantastic what they've presented here. It's just simply amazing. This was on the Amiga, and you know what? Looking forward to playing this one more. Now this next game's kind of funny. It is Farming Simulator for the Commodore 64. Now I know there's going to be fans of this game. This is not necessarily my type of game, but you essentially take one of 4 harvesting equipment vehicles, and you drive your vehicles to the local garage to fill them up with fuel, or the local silo to buy seeds and sell your yield. Anyways, lots to this game. It's not a pick up and play type of game, but I know there's going to be fans, and you may want to check this one out. A perfect game for multiplayer up to 4 different players, especially if you have the Evercade Versus, which I'm capturing this footage on, is Tanks Fury. I'm playing against a computer here, but I could see some great multiplayer mayhem, and this is my pick for the best probably multiplayer game on this collection. And it's nice to see kind of Evercade mix it up and offer this game. Another Amiga version of the game. Fantastic gameplay, and I could see a lot of people getting into it. Next up is Sword of Iana, and this is a fantastic kind of puzzle platformer, and just well done. You know what? This is also on the ZX Spectrum, I do believe, 128K. And so, you know what? This is a fun game. These are the types of games that I remember playing. These types of games on classic computers such as the Amiga. Stormlord comes to mind. But you know what? I really think this is a welcome addition to this collection. A lot of diverse games on here. So not everything is going to be enjoyed by you, but you're going to find something, I think, on this collection that you're going to love playing. Next, you have a pair of games offered from David Murray, also known as 8-Bit Guy.
and first is Attack of the Pesky Robots. He is actually offering this on his website on several different platforms, but this is the Amiga version. It's absolutely fantastic. You have to infiltrate encampments and find tools and weapons to defeat enemies. Just a really fantastic game. I love the isometric view, and one I definitely want to go back and play. Also on the Atari 7800. Next up is Planet X2, and this is a real-time strategy game. This is one I need to spend more time, look at the manual, and figure out gameplay. I'm not great at it, but I'm sure it is a fantastic game. I just got to give it more time. Next up is a pair of aftermarket classics, and I can't wait to show you this. And this is Good Boy Galaxy and Witch and Whiz. And even though there's only just 2 games on this collection, both are of high quality. And whether you're into puzzle games or action exploratory games, kind of Metroidvania a little bit, you are going to probably enjoy this game. Both 8-bit and Good Boy Galaxy is a Game Boy Advance game. And here's the packaging. The manual you flip, it's pretty awesome. You know, again, Evercade really setting the standard for a $20 release with that full color manual. I really love the presentation that they offer in their $20 cartridge packages. So here is Witch and Whiz, and it's a puzzle game. Kind of reminds me of a couple different NES classic games. You can reset a level, and I like it. It kind of has a little bit of Adventures of Lolo mixed with some other puzzle games I reminisce and play on my classic NES. Fantastic graphics though. Holy cow, amazing. Of the 2, I'm probably a bigger fan of Good Boy Galaxy. I played the demo that was on Kickstarter. I want to go back to this, and as you know, this is just a brilliant platformer game. Awesome intro there, really large sprites, and there's just a lot to enjoy about this release. Initially it was just going to be a small demo, talks about it in the manual, but just a brilliant game and just a wonderful addition to the Evercade library. Next up is a pair from Neofed Studios. I've covered both of these games on my channel, and I know a lot of people were awaiting this to be placed on Evercade. So awesome that Neofed Studios has put both their classic iconic games on one cart. These are Sega Genesis gems. Absolutely highly recommend this. Probably of all the games I'm showing today, this for 20 bucks, oh my gosh, sign me up. Astro Bros is a really cool 2-player action game, and there's simply fantastic graphics, gameplay mechanics, lots to explore, different weapons, and man, there's lots of customization, and there's simply something for everyone. Another Evercade Versus game you may want to check out with a buddy, as I can see a lot of people playing this during the holidays or just whenever you pick this up. As you know what, this is just a good example of Evercade really finishing strong for the year, offering a multitude of different gameplay experiences from different platforms, all on one spot. So all these games I show today, they're compatible with whatever Evercade hardware you have. Next up is Demon's Astaborg, and you know what, another fantastic game, came out in 2021, and another game I covered on my channel, and holy cow, just so much to enjoy about this. You know, it's a little bit of Castlevania, a little bit of Ghouls and Ghosts, and a little bit of its own, but fantastic graphics and sound. And I want to thank everybody for coming to my channel. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell. Helps me out so much. Most appreciated as I march towards 135,000 subs. Really looking forward to getting to that next level. Thank you so much, and most appreciated. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care. John Hancock here with Evercade's latest. This is a C64 Collection 3. This is available on Amazon. The affiliate link will be below. These are $20 cartridges for the Evercade Versus and handhelds, and you choose the hardware. I have a complete playlist on my channel that covers all things Evercade. These $20 cartridges come with a full color manual. This is a C64 collection, 13 classic Commodore 64 games, and they are of the following. I'm going to show a little bit of gameplay of all 13 games included on this collection. There's a nice variety. Let's go! You have stuff like Anarchy, which I didn't have a lot of experience playing, and this is kind of a cross between like combat and a puzzle game, and I like it. So this is one I definitely would come back and playing. And what I noticed on a lot of Evercade cartridges, there's going to be a wide variety of games, especially with a collection of 13 games. And some you're going to like and go back and revisit, and others may not be your cup of tea. This one definitely is unique, and I'm definitely coming back and playing this one more, as it's one of the better games on this collection. But the big one probably for many is Boulder Dash, and it's on here and plays great. Nice to see that. I know there's many people that cut their teeth and played this game growing up, and such a timeless classic. You know, this is a type of game on a collection like the C64 collection I think that people want. They want these timeless classics that everybody remembers to play. And you know what? It was awesome that Blaze Entertainment secured the rights for this. All these games are licensed, and so they have approval from the development team, programmer, company that owns the rights. So this is Breakdance, and this is definitely an 80s themed game. I don't know if this is my favorite. Would I come back and play this? Probably not, but the good news is there's many other games on this collection, wide variety. Remember playing Cyberdyne Warrior? This is a popular title, and nice to see it on here. It's well done. It's a nice little kind of puzzle platformer. I really enjoyed this one. Played well too. Some of the Commodore 64 games require a virtual keyboard, which is easy to access. But I like this one. I haven't had a lot of experience with it, but I know a lot of people talk fondly of this one, and this is going to be a popular one. Pretty challenging game, like many computer platformers. And there's Cybernoid 2: The Revenge, another timeless classic that many people have fond memories of. Kind of a fun little exploratory shooter, and well done. Nice music, nice graphics. You know what? I would have totally appreciated this one back in the day. I discovered and found this one in my early adulthood, and so yeah, pretty awesome. But there's a wide variety of different games. Deliverance, Stormlord 2, pretty challenging platformer. You know what, this one, you have to remember the double jump, which I didn't. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I remember playing Stormlord on the Genesis, so it's nice to see this one here. And looks great for a Commodore 64 game for sure. There was thousands of games offered on the Commodore 64 back in the day. Exelon is one I didn't play or have any experience with. You may enjoy and appreciate this, having some fond memories. It's a pretty challenging game. I don't know if this was definitely a game that I would go back and revisit, as I played a lot of platformers on consoles, and I found with a lot of these computer platformers pretty challenging. And so there were some other titles on this collection that were something I gravitated to more. Then you had Heavy Metal Paradroid. This is a pretty fun little strategy action game. Lots to it. You go around activating doors and controlling things and taking out enemies. I like this one. But you know what game I totally love is Jumpman Jr. This is, to me, one of the better games on this collection. And you're going to have your preferences, and you're going to have your games that you're going to gravitate to that are different than mine. But Jumpman Jr. is just a great snapshot of the games that were available in the 80s. And this was on different platforms, even the ColecoVision. But I like the Commodore 64 version. It's well done, and it's a nice, welcome addition here on this collection. And this collection, total collection, 13 games for $20. That's an awesome deal. Then you had games like Netherworld. Well done. Nice little power-ups, and it's kind of a collectathon where you're collecting diamonds to get to the next stage. I like this. This was fun, and something, you know, I haven't experienced back in the day. So you're going to find games either you remember or brand new games that you don't have a lot of experience with. That's what's crazy about the large, huge, amazing library of the Commodore 64. You had Street Sports Soccer, which is fondly remembered by some. This game, for me, I think for a Commodore 64 sports title is okay, but it's not one I'm going to go back and play. But I know some people have fond memories of this and are going to be happy that it's offered on here. For me, I'm probably going to play some different games. Then you have big titles such as Summer Games 2, and this is going to be a favorite for many. What is your favorite course? What is your favorite event? Definitely in the comments below, let me know. I like to do practice, and by the way, if you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. I'm a big fan of Javelin, so it's nice you can go and practice events before you go into the main thing. And then you have Super Cycle, which is a nice racing game included with this collection. This collection is well-rounded. And for the Commodore collections, everybody's going to have your favorite. Have you played the previous collections? But for the Evercade, this is one of the better collections in my opinion, as I think it has a nice variety of games and gets a thumbs up from me. The other multi-cart available now is the Indie Heroes 3, and this has a wide variety of awesome aftermarket games made for a variety of different platforms. And I love this type of collection. You know, if I was to retro collect and starting now, I would get an Evercade and some multi-carts. And it's each game collection comes with a full color manual and a multi-cart in a nice collector case for 20 bucks. That is very affordable, and the manual goes over information about the developer and publisher and gives a kind of a control overview. There is an update available. I'm playing on the Versus, by the way, and so you want to patch this game before you play it as it fixes some issues. And so anyways, wanted to show the collection here. 13 games, pretty awesome, and here we go. Like the C64 collection I just showed, this has a nice variety of different types of games, and I really like the variety and selection that Blaze Entertainment did for this collection. You have Alien Cat 2, a fun little puzzler, and I really enjoyed this one. I covered this in a previous video, and you know what? It's a perfect way to check out homebrew games at an affordable price, because you have a collection of like 13 different titles. And then you had Big to Small here, another title that I covered on a video short from the Retro Room that offers this even on the N64, which is what I showed. And so a fun little Game Boy Color puzzler. And you know what, if you're into those puzzle types of games, you're going to be right at home. Then he had cool stuff like Bone Marrow, which I had no experience playing, from PSCD Games. And you know what, this one was more my jam, and loved kind of this kind of unique take on a puzzle game, puzzle strategy. I don't know how you'd identify this, but yeah, it's pretty cool. You combine items, and it's, you know, it's kind of part, I don't know, like a match 3, but not really. And then you have like action sequences where then you can fight enemies. And I really like this one. This is definitely one I'm going to go back and play more. Enjoyed this one quite a bit. They have cutesy platformers like Bubble Seahorse Adventures, which kind of combines like aspects of like Bubble Bobble into like a platformer, and it's really colorful too. I really enjoyed this one. Another one I would go back and revisit probably. Just well done. And I like that the variety of games on a collection, because you feel, I think people feel satisfied when they get a wide variety. And then you have Choo Choo Mimic here from my good friend John Riggs with Low Tech Games. Kind of a cool game where you kind of control a knight and you give it commands to go around, and it's part puzzle, part strategy. There's 100 stages, and well done graphics and music. This is a really thinker here, and I really enjoy and kind of gravitate to more of these types of games. Did not figure it out correctly, but I know that once I play it more, and definitely one I want to go back. Another one I really enjoyed was Monster Brawl, and this is a fun multiplayer game, especially if you're playing on the Versus, up to 4 people, duking it out, more or less collecting fruit and seeing who gets the highest score lots here to enjoy, and you know what, just a fun little game, and really enjoy this one as well. Definitely could be a fun multiplayer game to play at parties. But I have to say, one of the best games on this collection is Donut Dodo. This reminds me of a classic arcade game that would come out in the early 80s in that Donkey Kong Mario Brothers era, and it's so well done. I'm super excited that this is offered on here. Super challenging, but oh my goodness, there's so much to enjoy about this game, and if you haven't checked it out, this is a great way to, and it's a perfect fit on the Evercade. Maybe you're more of a platformer and you have Doodle World Redrawn. Just a fun and cute and family-friendly platformer to play. And you know what? There's even a kid mode. I love seeing that in games. And there's just something on here for everybody. And so there's also stuff such as you have Magic and Legend Time Nights, where you choose one of two different characters and swap back and forth. Just a well done, I do believe, Game Boy Color platformer with, you know, bonus stages and options there. Man, this is just so well done. I just love seeing games such as this, wide variety. Then you have Ore Body Binder's Tale, and another kind of cool platform, a little bit of Mega Man, a little bit of you know, Contra maybe. But yeah, it's pretty sweet to see these aftermarket games still being developed for classic platforms and then offered here for people that want to legally purchase and play these games. Then you have classics such as Skate Cat, which is a fantastic little platformer as well. Really like seeing these projects being completed and offered here on Evercade. As I know, there's a lot of people, that's how they want to play games. They want to play it on a classic platformer. They don't want to spend a lot, and they wait for a compilation. You know, 20 bucks for 13 games. Can't beat that. Then to mix it up, you have more of kind of a puzzle slash, you know, maybe RPG, The Little Tales of Alexandria. And you know what? This is kind of a welcome addition, and it mixes things up a little bit on this collection of games. And so nice to see this. This was done in GB Studio, I do believe, and just a pretty cool little game. Then you had Thunderpaw, and this was a Genesis game from PSCD Games. Really awesome to see this, as this is more my jam, and a welcome conclusion to the 13 games on this collection. So what do you think? In the comments below, let me know. What are you most interested in playing? Are you going to pick this up? Are you a fan of the Evercade? Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out my playlist of my other Evercade videos, as I have done many. And if you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell, as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the immortal John Hancock, and you take care. I want to share Evercade's latest, and this is a library feature that just was released yesterday, April 10th, and want to show what this can do. You can use this feature on the EXP handheld or the Versus, and what it does is it gives an overview of all the games and collections released in visual form on the Evercade. And you go to the library section, and you can see and search for particular games, what collection were they on, and what games were on each multi-cart. Very awesome feature. You can search by game, by collection. This is a much needed thing. And yes, it's an incentive to buy more, but it really does break down, hey, has this game been released and what collection is it on? It's a thumbs up for me, and I really like it. And it's a good way of finding a particular game and what collection it was on. So Evercade sent me its latest. This is Pico Collection 4, and I know there's going to be a lot of people curious about how 64 games run on the Evercade. Bad Street Brawler. There's a eclectic combination of games that is on this release, and there's 10 games. Bad Street Brawler, kind of a subpar NES game, you know, not my favorite, not a game I'm probably going to go back and revisit, but here it is. But the one that probably many people are interested in is Glover, and this is above average 3D platform game, and you know what, it's running pretty good. It did take a while to load up on my verses, and I don't know, if that's just something normal. So actually, it took so long that I had to make sure that my cartridge was working correct. It was. It just takes a little bit longer than a standard game to load. So just a heads up on that. But you know what? It seemed to be playing fine. And I know that many people have fond memories of this 3D platformer. I don't have a lot of experience playing this game, but definitely one I want to go back and play more. But continuing this weird collection of games, you have Mermaids of Atlantis, which is like the G-rated version of Bubble Bath Babes, which was an adult title release. This is not. This is just a standard puzzle game, match colors, and here you go. This is a puzzle game that I don't have much experience playing either, as it was released by American Video Entertainment back in the day for the NES. But one that I played a little bit more is Risky Woods. I did a ranking video for Electronic Arts a few years back. And you know what? This is a platformer, pretty challenging game. This was a computer release as well for the Amiga. You know what? This is a pretty challenging platformer. And while I like some of the other games EA published back in the day, I know that some people are going to have good memories of this game and are happy to see it released here. And this just continues the eclectic collections that Pico Interactive has on the Evercade. But it's a nice variety, if anything, there's a wide variety of games on this collection, and there's going to be something that people I think are going to gravitate to. And, for that $20 price point, it's pretty awesome. Now, then you have releases like this. This is Skulljagger, and this is a Super Nintendo platform. I don't know what I think of this game. I don't remember playing this. In fact, I remember seeing this at rental stores and avoiding it. I'm not the biggest fan of this release, and this is just one of those games on this collection that I'm probably not going to play a ton, as I just think it's just a kind of a substandard platformer, and one that I don't prefer playing. I'd much rather play some of the many other excellent releases either on Super Nintendo or Genesis. Now, that's the other challenging thing, is it doesn't tell you what platform these come from. I do believe that's a legality issue. I've brought that up in other videos as well. I wish they would do that, but I think they can. Here is Star X, and this to me is kind of like a discount Star Fox. It's not bad. Control is a little bit off, but you know what? I did enjoy playing this, and this would be one of the games that I would revisit and play on this collection. And then you have stuff such as Street Racer. This definitely has that like Mode 7 original Mario Kart kind of perspective. Not bad though. This was a fun game, and you know what? I don't remember playing this at all growing up in the 90s, and so going back and checking this out, not bad. Not bad. Do you have any memories of playing any of these in the comments below? Let me know, as you know what, this is a kind of an interesting eclectic collection, as I mentioned before. And I know that there's going to be some people that are going to love these games and other people that are going to prefer other games. But anyways, this one wasn't bad, and definitely better than I anticipated, and one I would definitely play again. If you're a fan of brawlers and side-scrollers, you may want to check out Target Renegade. This does borrow heavily from some other popular games such as Double Dragon back in the day. Definitely has some graphic aspects that they borrowed from that series. But you know what? This wasn't terrible, above average, and I definitely would go back and play this, as I enjoyed it and actually thought it was pretty decent. I didn't play this one. I was a bigger fan of Double Dragon back in the day, but definitely one I want to go back and play. Then they had weird stuff such as the Fidgets. It's a Game Boy puzzle platform game in which you're trying to control a few characters. The first character is maneuvering and positioning blocks, so that your second character, which cannot jump as high, can navigate through the same level. Not my cup of tea, not a game I'm probably going to go back and play, but this obscure and uncommon game release, not bad. But a game that I would gravitate to more would be Zero Tolerance Underground, an unreleased sequel
to zero tolerance on the Genesis, showing that a first-person game could be done on the 16-bit platform. And this is well done. It plays very familiar to zero tolerance, a few extra weapons, and different story. But anyways, you know what? That rounds out a pretty interesting collection of games and gets a thumbs up as it's only 20 bucks. The other collection released is the Sunsoft Collection 2. Now, I really enjoyed the first Sunsoft collection, so how does this one compare? First, you have Arrow the Acrobat 2. I did a ranking video years back on the Genesis one, and I liked that version. Now, this does have good control. It takes a little bit to get used to. It's got colorful graphics, good sound. I think this is above average platformer, and I think it gets a thumbs up for me. Then you have Blaster Master Enemy Below. This is a Game Boy Color release, and it's known for having really excellent graphics. And if you're a Blaster Master fan, you get to check this out. And this is another combination of some classic Sunsoft games, some of them getting harder to find, all in one collection. Now, I would rather play the original Blaster Master, but maybe you grew up with the Game Boy Color version released in 2000. And so, not bad. This is a game that I would definitely go back and play. And then you have a weird Days Before Christmas. This is a Christmas platformer. There were so many platformer style games coming out in the 90s, and so this is an oddity included here. You know what, this might be a kind of a fun game to play around the holidays. This game is just okay for me. You know what, I think I had a time in which I was playing lots of platformers. I just going back and playing it was just okay. Galaxy Fight is a Neo Geo game release, and I don't have a ton of experience playing this game in particular, so it is nice to break up all the platformers offered on this release and offer a fighting game. Now, I do wish there was Evercade. I wish Evercade released like a joystick, definitely for some of the fighting games that's offered on their platforms. But you know what? Maybe in the future. Then you have Primitive Princess, which is a puzzle platform type game. You know what? This is not my favorite. I tried getting into this. I just didn't like the gameplay style. For some people out there, do you remember this one? Have you played it? Do you like it? Anyways, in the comments below, let me know. But you know what? It just shows the robust diversity of an Evercade cartridge. Game Boy, Neo Geo, Super Nintendo. You know what? All on one cartridge. A legal way to play. And then you have rare games such as Euphoria, the Saga. And this is kind of an oddity, a unique platformer that had unique graphic and control. And you know what? You might be really excited that this is released. And do you remember this one? Are you excited that games such as this are included on this Evercade release? Only 20 bucks too. So, you know, this entire collection of some Sunsoft classics is only going to set you back 20 bucks. And the affiliate link is below, and you may want to check these out. But you know what? I think you can do much worse. I do believe that I like the first Sunsoft collection better, but this isn't bad. This is, you know, the first Sunsoft collection is actually one of my favorite collections on the Evercade. And now you have weird stuff like this, Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, which was in production, I do believe, around the same time as Arrow the Acrobat 2, which was the nemesis of the main character. And so, you know what? What do you think? In the comments below, let me know. We're going to be picking these up. And as always, I cover all the Evercade releases. I have a playlist. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care. Thank you so much for viewing this marathon video today. What did you think? In the comments below, let me know. And if you got to the end, you are amazing. Thank you so much for viewing this marathon video. If you like what you see and you haven't already, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell, as I've uploaded many other videos, and I upload videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock. Thank you so much. You take care.